across the UK, online and on DAB.
Get an earful of unusual nocturnal emissions with radio's Lord of Misrule, Iain Lee. No relation, thank God.
Unfiltered Night Talk with the original king of unconventional conversation.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Well, Catherine's late. Look, the show is beginning.
I've been and gone, mate.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
you're going to sit over there tonight, are you?
Yes.
Late Night Alternative. My uvula is huge today.
Boasting.
It is huge. I've never... honestly, I woke up this morning and I coughed and something felt wrong. And I went to the mirror and looked, and my uvula I can make sit on my tongue. This is true. This is, the uvula is the little boxing punching bag at the back of the throat. It's swollen, and I won't do it now, but I will do it at some point. You're going to see it.
It's his favourite thing today, so you're going to see it.
If I go, it sits on the back of my tongue. It goes up and sits.
Well, don't go then.
Well, I want people to know that I'm very poorly, and I'm
But
still...
you don't like to talk about it.
I do like to talk about it. I'm being a very brave soldier. Robin Ince is here. Good evening,
Hello.
Robin.
I've had that before with the uvula. Yeah,
Have you?
It's normally during the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and you have that night where you think I've got to swallow whatever's stuck in my throat, and then you realise you've actually been trying to swallow your own throat, and then you go to a high street chemist, and they always have they go, well, we do have something under the counter, and they bring up this incredible drink that's made of kind of vinegar and honey, and it's disgusting, and it's disgusting enough for you psychosomatically to think, well, it must have cured me in some way.
They have medicines under the counter?
Well, it's just like medicines that are so unglamorous.
Right,
medicines
okay.
that are so much a 17th century apothecary with all manner of spiders' legs hanging in them that they think best to keep that hidden.
I don't want to... By the way, this coffee has got coconut milk in it.
Oh, I've got yours then.
There we go. This is terrible. So, I don't want to sound racist, but...
Oh, God.
Those Chinese herbalists... What is that about? I went to one once. Thank you, Catherine. I went to once when I was at university because I had this kind of mark on my face that came about because I had quite sensitive skin on my face, and when I was working at B-Jams, the young lad who was working there squirted me in
B-Jams.
Oh, man.
Can I just say that you might as well, between B-Jams and Rumbelows, you've created a Proustian sense of delight for me there.
Yeah, I got my BBC Micro from Rumbelows. But he squirted me in the face with Jif, and it set up a chain reaction.
Stop.
Hello?
Jif lemon or Jif for the toilet?
Jif lemon.
Oh.
And anyway, so for years I had like a big red mark there that would sometimes pustulate. And at university I was kind of into crystals. I went on a crystal healing course, which I've mentioned before. That was true. And I thought, well, I'm going to go and try the Chinese... herbalists. And I went in, I said, look, I don't suppose you can cure this. And they said, oh, we can cure anything. We can cure anything. I said, well, I've got this. And she looked at it and she went, right, I know exactly what you need. Basically, a load of old leaves and bark and stuff, and I had to boil it up every day and drink it every day. And she said, within 2 weeks, that is going to be gone. And, of course, a month of drinking this, and it was still there.
Did you take that up with her? Or?
I didn't go back.
Yeah. That's why she thinks she's curing everyone.
They refuse to go back. I didn't go back. But they're allowed to set up in the high street. There was one in Windsor High Street I noticed today. That's not... Why have we not arrested these charlatans?
Because no one goes back.
Okay, all right.
What you need, by the way, the
problem.
next time you get a Jif injury is you need to take a homeopathic amount of pancake, and that will actually cure you.
Now, Robin Ince is here. Robin has got a book, I'm a Joke and So Are You. And my he's nearly 7, nearly 7-year-old youngest son, who I only found out last night, thinks that a screen is called a scream. We were talking about this. He said, look at the TV scream. I said, I beg your pardon? The TV scream, look at that. And I said, he thought the title of this book was hilarious.
Good.
He saw it in my car, and he was in hysterics. I'm a joke and so are you. And he just absolutely wetting himself with laughter. So the nearly 7-year-old market, Robin, cornered it.
As long as they don't open it in the shop, as long as they buy it at the point of cover, everything is absolutely fine.
Or if you can somehow get it so it opens at the page with Nina Conti and Monkey, then...
that was a lot of fun.
She's brilliant, isn't she?
Yeah,
It was. I've not seen her for years and years. She was always one of my favourite turns.
Well, it gets better and better, and it's such a. If I'm sure you've seen it. I don't know if you've seen it. Just the routine where basically she's got Monkey, and then she removes Monkey, but she keeps being a ventriloquist just with a hand, and then the hand drops down, and she's still being a ventriloquist, and then she opens her mouth, and out comes the voice of Monkey, and that to me is up there with watching Dead of Night or any of those portmanteau things where I'm a ventriloquist and he's alive. Yeah. He's alive. Oh, don't be so silly. He did the murder, not me. It really did feel like that moment.
What was that? What's the Anthony Hopkins Magic, where he's an old boozer. I watched that when I was 11, when we first got our video recorder. It must have been 9 or 10. And we were allowed to tape anything. Magic for a 9-year-old boy is kind of a heavy. Have you seen it?
I don't think so.
It's great. I don't know if it would stand the test of time, but he plays like a boozy old ventriloquist, and his dummy comes to life, tries to kill him, but is it his dummy coming to life? Is it him who's doing it? Is it actual magic? I can't remember the twist of it, but it was, for a 9-year-old... That was heavy.
Yeah.
It was one of the only 3 films that our generation could watch. It was Magic, The Wild Geese and The Medusa Touch. They were the 3 films that were always somehow available.
When you went into video... Kids these days with their YouTubes and their Netflix, you get anything, and your torrents, you can get anything. We would go in... You're right, we'd go into a video store... I mean, you were lucky to have 3, because I'm guessing you had VHS. We had Betamax.
No, of course we had Betamax. My dad thought it was the future.
There we go, posh.
Well, it should have been. The quality was superior.
Oh, the quality was great. This is the thing, thank you.
They just didn't make decent porn on it. That's the problem.
Even into the 90s, you would still hear a parent saying, I mean, the thing that's so ridiculous is, it really, the tape doesn't go through as many spools. It's ridiculous.
I used to love it. So, what... I'm only halfway through your book, and the look of disappointment on your face... When I was struggling to read a Carly Simon book that I found quite hard. We've got Jeff Goldblum tomorrow. You've kind of fallen between 2 stools, Robin.
I love the fact that this Carly Simon book is worse than when I tried to read Bertrand Russell's History of Western Philosophy. So many big words, phenomenology. What's going on?
I couldn't get through it. I felt so sorry for her. I had to keep putting it down. Very sad story, the Carly Simon story. Used by men. For their sexual pleasures and gratifications, basically.
Oh, a book I'd recommend, quite an old book now. Simon Garfield, who wrote The Wrestling, has written many other interesting documentary books. I think his first one's called Expensive Habits, and each chapter is about how people in the music industry are ripped off, how the artist is ripped off. And then the final section of the book, which is an enormous section, is basically all about Hazel O'Connor.
Oh.
And it turns out every single
She
way,
did all the ripping off?
All the different... all the different ways of being ripped off she had done to her. It's
really?
Horrible. And it is, like you say, there's certain books, you read it, and then you go, I need to just stop now, because there's just a general sadness.
Yeah. We've got a phone call. Oh, by the way, so Robin's here. We're going to talk about the book. We'll talk about... we'll talk about the fact that 2 days ago, it was the 20th anniversary of the 11 o'clock show. Wowzers. What did you do to celebrate?
I played Crickhowl, the small village in Wales.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well,
They didn't have it because of S4C, so it was fine.
I made vaguely racist and homophobic slurs to random people in the street, and it was great. It was great times.
At the Elephant Castle Shopping Centre again.
Yeah. That's they're knocking that down, and I just think...
Is it because of you? Or?
I think... I remember once going there, and we used to go there all the time, because you got people that couldn't speak English and mental people. That was it. I mean, basically, that was it. That's what we went there for. And
what our former colleague at Three Counties would call a vox face.
There we go, vox face. Yes, very much a vox face. And a security guard came out one day, and we said, "Well, it's not a problem. We're outside the shopping centre." He said, "No. You're allowed to do it. It's just." Well, this has been going on for months, and we didn't know how to say this, but I've got to come out and say it. Your microphone is interfering with the bingo, and we're hearing a lot of what you're saying, and some of it's just a little bit too fruity for the old people. Some people are getting offended, so I just wondered, can you change the frequency?
And those are people who've been through the war.
Yeah. Terrible.
I can't believe it. So there was a godlike intervention that told you had a calling to be a bingo caller, and nevertheless you ignored it.
Is that what it was? Well, this is kind of bingo calling. 0344 499 1000. You know the rules. You can phone in and talk to Robin about whatever you want. Or you can just phone in and, you know, we have a phone call. I don't know if it's for us. Put your headphones on. It's David. Hello, David.
Yes. You were talking about uvulas, weren't you? I've had mine out.
You've had your uvula out?
Yeah, they took it out because I had sleep apnea, and they thought it was making me choke at night, but that wasn't the issue. My tonsils were the issue on a serious note, but no, they took it out.
On a serious note, the tonsils, but the uvula's just a bit of fun. So, hang on, why did they take it out? Did it swell to an enormous size?
Well, they thought it was making me throat block up, and
wow.
What is it for?
I used to wake up choking. This is serious stuff. I could have been dead, but
wow, gosh. Well, we're lucky to have you here with us this evening.
Thankful.
Yeah, and when they took it out, I said, "Can I have it?" And they said, "No, we've got to throw it in the incinerator."
This is the thing. This is the thing that gets me. When you have a bit of... I don't know if you've ever had an operation and had bits of your body removed, Robin. You're not allowed to ask... Well, you can ask, but they won't give you the bits back.
If you chop your neighbour's bush, you've got to throw it back.
Sorry?
But they can pull things out of you and not give it back to you.
Oh, if a neighbour does an operation on you, then you does have to be thrown back. But if anyone in the medical profession does, then they've got a totally different set of rules.
They've got to chuck your testes or your uvula over the fence into your garden.
If they're hanging over, then that's what's got to happen.
And how was your life different since losing that, David?
Well, you sort of... you could, like... Oh.
Well, you can't finish a sentence, it would appear. I don't know if that's a direct result.
You can, like, breathe out in a certain way, and you can move it, can't you? And it flaps around, and I can't flap it around anymore because it's not there.
Well, David, thank you very much indeed. It's a beautiful image. Someone has texted me, tweeted me, that Lizzie says you can get uvula piercings. You can get them pierced.
Why?
Wow. That's prompted a reaction.
Who's going to see it?
Your dentist, your lover.
Even as a kind of, if it was meant to enhance some form of kissing, then you have to find the length of tongue that's correct. No, this doesn't work.
It can only be for the pleasure of Gene Simmons if you're kissing him or a cow. It can't be. And we go at it. It can't be for oral pleasure, can it? Because a lot of these piercings in the tongue and in the genitals are for pleasure during sex to increase stimulation. The tongue is supposed to be, I've never experienced it, a pierced tongue is supposed to be incredible for oral sex on either a man or a woman. But that's too far back. I mean, that is... Lizzie, I'm assuming you've got it done, because you've tweeted me, and you look the sort from your avatar. Let us know why you did it.
Who thinks of these things where they look at that,
perverts,
wobbling about and go, I could jazz this up.
Perverts. It's perverts. Do you remember we had 3 counties where we met? This caller came in one day.
Oh, God.
And he went, I've got my balls pierced. Oh, that's great. And then he just stood up and whopped them out. And just very close, I'm offering, so very close with his pierced testicles out. Why would you display that?
Thanks for making me leave the room for that, by the way. I'm very grateful.
We will talk about the book in a second. Oh, and you've got the pleasure.
None of those things are in the book, by the way. If anyone is now being turned off the idea of the book, no, there are neither illustrations nor paragraphs.
There's always a second edition.
But I'm prepared to doodle in mine, and when I've finished, give it away. 0344 499 1000. This is the late night alternative on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio.
Iain Lee, Catherine Boyle, we're joined by Robin Ince. I guess we've worked together on and off, mainly off, but on and off for about 20 years. Were you there at the beginning of the 11 o'clock show? When did you...
No, I was halfway through beginning of series 2. I started to do John Peel, meeting Paul McCartney, doing a disco for him and things like that, and it was rather fun.
One of the most uncomfortable experiences of many on the 11 o'clock show was, remember the Christmas special we did?
Oh, it was Frank Carson.
Was Frank Carson
on
it?
Frank
yes.
Carson was on that.
And James were playing. They had a band. We suddenly, for some reason, we all moved into the bigger studio. So normally we're in the small studio of maybe 200, 150. And then we're in a bigger studio that held like 500, 600. It was massive. And it was the same... It was like when they do a movie version of a TV show where the set looks the same, but it's not quite right. And it was the same with this. The set just felt bigger. And I remember, I think it was... Was it you doing John Peel and Alex Lowe doing Jimmy Savile?
That's right, yeah.
Wow.
I don't think that's available on YouTube
I think
anymore.
it is, actually.
Oh, my God.
I think it is. But your microphones died.
Yeah.
So the audience couldn't hear any of it. But I guess it was Dom English, the producers, going, "No, carry on. We'll just dub the laughter in later." And so it was a long old sketch. It was like 5-6 minutes long.
Wow.
And nobody in the studio could hear anything. Zero laughter. Fair play to you two. You both kept carrying on like the couple of old pros that you are. Of course, Alex Lowe came off afterwards going, "Oh God, I was awful. I was terrible." You had to.
I hope Kenneth Branagh wasn't watching that. Bloody hell! I haven't had a decent part for him since I played the Woodsman in Peter's Friends.
But that was such an uncomfortable.
The whole thing was bizarre, because also I was doing the warm-up on it, because I used to do the warm-up on the show, having presumed it was 156. They went, "Oh, you can still do the John Peel." Now, that would have worked in a 150-seater, a man in a beard and flares, dressed like that. But then trying to engage 600... Yeah, it was very... And then Frank Carson just didn't stop. I mean, Frank Carson was Frank Carson.
Yeah.
If you invite Frank Carson, you don't expect to have kind of Samuel Beckett-style pauses and silences. It's just...
Relentless,
Yeah. It was
Strange.
a very strange and relentless show.
It's a very strange experience. Let's speak to Alan, then we're going to talk about the book. I'm a joke and so are you. I've tweeted the links to it, and I'll tweet them out again. And if there are specific links where you get more bang for your buck, Robin, then let me know.
No, I mean, if people can, it's nice if people do, kind of independent things, more independent things.
Yeah.
But anyway, it'll make no difference to me. I just hope people read
I
it.
tell you what we'll do. We'll check that the Big Green Bookshop, they're our independent of choice.
I will be. I'm doing a show for them in December, I think.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
All right, then we'll find the link on their website, because they are our independent bookshop of choice. We like them; they do a lot of good work, and it's a cool shop. But Alan Caddick's on the line. Good evening, Alan.
Hey, Mark.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
Hello, man. I got another 10-hour death announcement.
Hang on, Alan phones us up to tell us who's died.
He's a not-so-grim reaper. He loves it.
Quite often, quite in sensitive ways, but not deliberately. But who's passed away now?
Flog It.
Sorry?
The programme Flog It.
Well, okay. I like Flog It. I like the guy that presents it. You aware of Flog It?
Yeah, I think I've seen it a bit. What was that? One of those kind of 5 in the afternoon things. Yeah.
Well, because they're having a big revamp of daytime television. Apparently, is the thing.
They better not mess with Four in a Bed.
Well, no, this is the BBC. This is the BBC. So Four in a Bed is going to... But, by the way, tell Robin, he'll be impressed. How many Four in a Beds have you got series linked on your box?
Turns out about 160.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's insane, isn't it?
I'm going to have to take some time off to watch them.
That's sad, Alan. You must be very upset by that.
Yeah, because I didn't know it was going for 17 years.
Yes. Well, it certainly has. What are you going to do now that it's going?
What's more pointless?
Okay, there you go. Well, that's that sorted.
I'm glad he mentioned Pointless. All I want to say is I'm much better than Jim Al-Khalili on that.
Well, hang on. Did you go on Pointless?
Yep.
Did you win?
Yep. And it is, and I had to keep it secret. I took it seriously.
Yeah.
Don't. And then they didn't put the episode out for about 18 months.
They
It
sit
was
on it for
me
ages,
and
don't
Kate
they?
Williams against John Cooper Clarke. This in the Dr. John Cooper Clarke.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, I won't take it seriously, but I just hope I'm not embarrassed, And then by round 2, you go, we better win this,
Yeah.
Kate. And Kate was like, yeah. And you could see Xander Armstrong getting rid because he was like, come on, hurry up, everyone. I've got a big dinner to go to with some Tory MPs and
Got to
stuff. Hurry up,
record
hurry
a new
up.
album.
No, you do not hurry us up. You're asking us about the lowest exporting coffee-growing nations, and we're going to think this through because we want a little bit of perspex.
Yeah.
Anyway, non-equatorial Guinea is a good answer.
And did you win the grand prize as well, or did you just get to the final?
No, we did. We had a pointless answer.
But what, in the last round?
Yeah.
Wow. Because I didn't. I was doing it with Cheggers. And we didn't. But we got those lovely little trophies that now, I think it's in my garage in a plastic box. I'm not totally sure. I might give it to the boys.
It's such an interesting... Because that bit we go, now hang on a minute, now I myself would think Sid Barrett would be quite a popular answer, but now hang on a minute, let me go into the minds of the... that whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, I enjoyed, and I hadn't really... I was aware of it, and I'd seen bits of it. Alan, sorry, could you breathe a little...
I just had an idea of a topic.
That's okay. Well, hang on, let's just breathe...
Hold on to that idea.
We're sharing pointless stories, so just hold your breath if you can, or breathe softly, my love.
Okay.
I was aware of it, but I wasn't completely aware of it, and I did it because they paid me $1,000, would you do it? I said, yeah, of course I do. Fantastic money.
Hang on.
Oh,
great. Now this is creating a level of animosity in the studio.
Robin. And I did it, and I was the first person to answer a question. And before he asked me the question, I said, Alexander, can you just remind me what I'm supposed to do again? It was a genuine thing. First answer, and I wasn't bothered. First answer, pointless. Suddenly I was in. Suddenly I was hooked. The show had its claws in me, and I was hooked. And when we beat Rav from Crime Watch, and Michelle Heaton from Liberty X. What a day. And Anthony Costa from Blue, and we destroyed those suckers.
But then there was that small incident.
Oh, well, I was accused of being a racist, yes. There was I was accused of being a racist, and which you know, I was watching the show with my boys, and then we went and had dinner, and I thought, right, well, the show's finished, I'll check online just to see people saying nice things about me. And then there's Daily Express, Iain Lee, and racist, slur, and pointless. The Metro, Iain Lee is a racist. And what it was, we had to do bands from... pointless bands that had won Brit Awards in certain years. 1997, there were two girls in a shop, right? And I said, corner shop. Would have been around about the right time, okay. They were Asian-looking girls, and if you look closer, they were stood next to Spices. It was the Spice Girls. But then it became out that I was a massive racist because of that. What's your judgment? And this is important.
I'm just impressed by how long you managed to keep it in. That's the main thing. I think the...
You know the truth.
And still, £1,000. You got £1,000.
Got £1,000.
Shut up. Can't believe it. Tokens.
Yes.
Tokens again.
Yes, Alan.
I've got an idea of a topic talking about the pointless trophy.
Oh, yeah?
What was your favourite game for Memento?
Well, what's yours?
A ceramic dusty bin.
Oh, I had one of them.
Well, did you win one?
I actually made one.
That's brilliant.
How did you make it?
In school.
Well, that's explained so much, Alan. Could you send us a photo of it?
Yes, I can. I'll email it in at iainlee.com.
Thank you very much, Alan. I look forward to seeing your homemade dusty bin.
Oh, I can tell you when I worked with Ted Rogers as well.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, musical, Wimbledon Theatre. Ted Rogers, Sue Pollard, Freddie Parrotface Davis.
Fantastic.
I remember another comedian saying to me, why are you doing that? I said, let me repeat, Ted Rogers, Sue Pollard, Freddie Parrotface Davis. It was fascinating.
What musical was it?
It was called That's Showbiz. It was written by Jimmy Perry.
Wow.
And I met him on some daytime TV show, and it was fascinating because what happened was I turned up and everyone was a little bit worried because they were going, there's an alternative coming. There's an alternative.
Yeah.
I hadn't slept very well, and they went, okay, let's do the first dance routine. Come on, Robin. And I went, oh, I don't dance. And, of course, Jimmy Perry hadn't realised that the modern comedian is very short on skills.
Yeah.
Whereas, of course, the old-style comedian, they can sing, they can dance, they do the whole thing. And, well, anyway, by the end of the morning, I'd been taken out of 5 of the dance routines. And every night at the end of the show, when we'd sing Dirty Old Comics, Fighting for Laughs, I could hear Carmen Silvera tutting as I was yet again out of time. I've had an interesting career at times.
When was that?
1997.
Okay.
And it was great. It was such a fun... Working with... Because I still love all of that kind of old world. It's like I spend a lot of time on YouTube watching footage of the Grumbleweeds. In particular, Morris and Robin, like in you know, when they just became a double act. There's such lovely timing. There's such a kind of joy. And now, you know, Robin Colville does it with another guy who's come in and he swapped roles as opposed to being the straight man. He's now the kind of crazy one.
Isn't that funny?
And I'm addicted to those things. It's like I remember Matt Lucas saying to me once, he goes, I've got a weird thing. He said, people find me so strange, but I love watching just old episodes of 321. I went, there's nothing bizarre about that at all.
They used to show them on Challenge TV a lot, and I'd watch it. I could watch 2 or 3 back to back. Did you see that brilliant series they did on ITV, Last Laugh in Vegas, where they took Sue Pollard, Cannon and Ball, Bobby Crush, and a couple of others.
Mick Miller.
To Las Vegas. Did you see
and
any
Jess
of that?
Conrad.
Jess Conrad.
Jess Conrad is a mate, because last time I went to see Panto was at the Aylesbury
You got to say
Waterside.
Jess Conrad is a mate of yours?
No, it's amazing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say...
Because I think for our generation, I saw him in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Harris as well,
and he must have been about 50 then already. But when I went to see Panto, and there was a bit, I think Anita Dobson was in it.
Yeah.
And then when Buttons comes out, and he goes, and we got some celebrities in the audience, ladies and gentlemen, he's the king of showbiz, Jess Conrad.
Wow.
And Jess stands up like that. But of course, for a lot of generations,
Yeah.
Jess Conrad he's in a weird...
Yeah.
But it's a fascinating career.
Oh, I don't know that much about him, but I love the fact that even at this age, he still plays the role of the huge star. That I don't know whether it's put on or it's now him, but that slight arrogance, that looking down his nose at everyone
Still
else.
a dreamboat, isn't he?
He's, you know,
He's like 83 or something, isn't it? And he's incredible. And he mentions the Botox and everything, doesn't he?
But what we love about them, we celebrate on this show a lot, kind of the older comedians. We've had Tommy Cannon on and Eddie Large and Bernie Clifton. You know, all of that kind of celebrate.
Bernie Clifton is...
he's nuts.
But he's absolutely...
great?
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think hugely underrated.
Yeah.
I think if you watch what Bernie Clifton does... I remember when he did his thing, sometimes he used to do this bit where he'd sing, "You gotta have tape. You've got..." And he wanders around the audience, basically with a tape dispenser, a kind of, parcel packing tape dispenser, and then until they're all entangled, and then he just goes, "Oh, I don't really know how to finish this. I don't know how to get anyone out." And so everyone just is just... And I remember someone saying about he has these huge inflatables in his box, like big gondolas and an inflatable nun. And I think it was at Bristol Colston Hall. I was doing something with him there, and someone said right at the end, "Bernie, we're going to make all the doors open so you can get the huge inflatable nun on stage." And they've got everything set up and but they're all there, and he just forgot to do it. And there's just someone waiting with an inflatable nun and everyone, and it's just, he's magnificent.
And those people are, and we started kind of getting them on the show after, what year was it that everyone died?
2016.
When everyone died, and, people would die, and then the next day they go, "Oh, we love them so much." And we kind of thought, well, let's get them on now and tell them that we love them now. And what was great watching that show, particularly with Cannon and Ball, just their years of training, their timing was incredible. They could read each other. There was a bit where they just they were in a rehearsal room and they're playing music, and to loosen them up, everyone has to, one at a time, just dance across to the other side of the room. And Bobby Ball was the last one, and he starts moonwalking, and it was brilliant. And he moonwalked brilliantly, and it was just hilarious because it came from nowhere.
My favourite is on one of the shows where they sing "Sometimes When We Touch." And it's almost like only at the final rehearsal did they go, "Hang on, Tommy, I've just looked at the lyrical content of this, and it doesn't kind of match up with what..." And their chairs are so far apart that they barely fit on the TV screen. It's just... I have the 7-inch single of "We Are the Boys in Blue," right, which I got sent by the Rank Film Distributors, because when I was a kid, I used to write to Rank Film Distributors about once every 3 months, pretending I was doing a project about films, thinking they'd send me posters for Lewis Collins' "Who Dares Wins" and "The Wild Geese," and they just sent me increasingly large posters for Cannon and Ball's Boys in Blue, till eventually I had one which was like 60 inches by 40 inches.
Wow.
And the final time they also sent me the 7-inch single as if to go, "We know what you're doing. You're not going to get any Lewis Collins merchandise, mate."
You said there's another one, it's going to be a billboard.
Yeah.
So, the book, which Robin Ince, "I'm a Joke and So Are You," which 7-year-olds find that title hilarious. A comedian's take on what makes us human. Got Matt Haig's name on the front, friend of the show. Stuart Lee's name on the front. So you've got 2 big names on the front. What's it about? I've not read it.
Basically, it's about... the idea is it originally started from just over 4 years ago. I was doing an Edinburgh event. It was a night called Cheaper Than Therapy. And it was about... It was basically to raise money for Mind. And it was... each night, different comics would come along and they'd either talk about their actual therapy or how comedy is therapy or whatever, do a stand-up routine. And the night I was doing it with a guy called Eddie Pepitone, who was a brilliant American comedian. And... in the interval before Eddie and me then did a kind of sit-down chat about comedy, everyone turned on their phone, and I just saw the whole room, just people kind of went, "Oh," and said, "Oh, what's happened? I didn't have a phone with it." And they said, "Do you not know? It's Robin Williams." And we were doing it on the night that Robin Williams had killed himself. And so we still did and Eddie had kind of known him. They weren't friends, but they were on friendly terms.
Yeah.
And they worked together. Then the next day, there were all of these articles in the press that just seemed to be "Tears of a Funny Man," "Another Tragic Clown" stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, these are... First of all, it belittles what happened. Just well, of course he was a clown, he's a comedian, this is bound to happen. And also it didn't take into... in fact, very few people knew at the point, but Robin Williams also had very serious illness. And there were many other... We have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be... And so I started thinking around that point, which is there are so many cliches about comedians and this idea of the otherness of them. And actually what I think is interesting, having done it for nearly 30 years now, is that when you go on stage, you become an exaggerated version of yourself, right? So that is... Not everyone does, but a lot of the people I work with, Josie Long and Stuart Lee and people like that, you go on and you're just a slightly exaggerated version of yourself. And so actually, rather than comedians being different, if you look at the exaggerated version and you work backwards, how much do you find out about all humans? So I kind of, the book is about, and I talk to neuroscientists and psychologists and geneticists and lots of comedians as well, and people like Noel Fielding and Sarah Kendall, and I talk to Alan Moore as well, just trying to work out on each chapter, some of it's about social anxiety, some of it's about imagination, some of it's about inner voices, some of it's about why we become who we become. I mean, because again, with comedians, there's always that narrative. People love that narrative. Well, of course, something terrible happened in their childhood.
Yeah.
But again, of course, there's an enormous number of people who something happened, some loss or whatever it might be, who don't become comedians. But it does, by using that as the starting model, is to try and work out, why are we the human beings we are? And then how do we cope? Because I think, for stand-up it's a really fun coping mechanism. I mean, it can still drive you insane. And I know a lot of stand-ups where we go, I think this is the thing that's actually got me through. Or is it the thing that drove me mad? I don't know. Yeah. So it's kind of looking at those...
Stand-ups are weird. I mean, I did it briefly, and I was never considered myself a stand-up. It was always a means to an end for me. But it's a weird thing to do, isn't it? To say, right, I'm going to stand in front of, a complete room full of strangers and talk for 10, 20, 45 an hour, and with the main intention of making them laugh. It's a very... it's not the toughest job in the world. People that say that, I think, are wrong. But it's a very strange exposure to expose yourself like that and put that much pressure on you.
In another way... I was talking about this actually with Josie Long this evening at a book event, which it's the easiest part of the day.
Okay, go on.
Because you go on stage and, you have... we all have dud gigs and bad nights, but overall, you have an hour and a half or 2 hours where you're controlling the situation to some extent. This is me, and you know what way they're looking directly at you, you're looking at them, you are controlling. Whereas the moment you walk out in the street, there's people over there and there's people over there, and are they looking and going, who's that weird bloke over there in that rubbish cardigan? So it's this, for a lot of people I know, it's like the happiest bit of the day. After the worry is then you're going, look, I'm being ridiculous, and I'm larking about, and... So I think that's, I know a few people who said, the bit on stage is easy. It's the other 22 hours, which is a nightmare.
What was your first... Because we've worked together, I don't actually know that much about you, Robin. What was your first gig? What made you think, I'm gonna give this a go? How did that happen?
Well, the first thing was just when once I saw... I've always loved things like Laurel and Hardy and the Goodies, and then I saw Alexi Sale on OTT, the kind of adult version of Tiz was, which was such a naughty show to watch.
OTT, yes, gosh.
Where you'd have Alexi Sale and Bernard Manning on the show. It was kind of at that point. And then, Rick Mail before that with Kevin Turvey. Yeah. And I just went, this is the most brilliant thing in the world. So I had and then I tried it when I was about 18. I did some terrible gig. And then probably, I started properly in about 1992. So I was, but I knew I just really wanted to do it. And it is a thing that can drive you mad. But it is, it's just I think I said to you before that there's, at the moment in the book talk, one of my favourite things is when I talk a little bit about people who influenced me. And one night I thought, it's a bit of a quiet night tonight, so I just suddenly sang Alexi Sale's Wine Bar song. And to leap around on the stage pretending to be Alexi Sale, basically just go, wine bars aren't called wine bars because of all the people dining. Wine bars aren't called wine bars because of all the people whining. Ever had a multiple orgasm? Yes, it made me sick. I loved a hamster bird, I killed it with a brick. Rumpty Toodle pina colada, half a pound of muesli. What do you think of Shirley Williams? I want to go to the toilet. So doing something like that...
That is an amazing impression of Alexi Sale. That's incredible.
Well, there was a weird... Because I don't think I mentioned it in the book, but again, about the kind of difficulty sometimes of when you become a comedian, you can... it's not always easy for the partner. With Alexi, years ago, I got to know him about, 8 or 9 years ago. And I said, would you come and do a gig with me? I'm doing this gig with an epidemiologist and a bluegrass band, and I think we need, an author as well. And he went, I don't really do stand-up. I said, well, you don't have to do stand-up. We just have a conversation. You can do what you do at book things or whatever. And so Alex came along, rode on his bicycle to Dalston, and we stood on stage together and did a bit of stuff. And then I rang him up about 4 weeks later. I said, there's a gig to try and help a library they're trying to close down in Kensal Green. Do you want to come do that? And the first thing he went, Linda hates you. And Linda's his wife. I went, I've not even met Linda. He went, yeah, she hates you. You're trying to get me back being a stand-up. And then he said this thing. He said, Linda said, what are you thinking, Alexi? You were number 15 in the top 100 stand-ups of all time. Don't go back. You'll dilute the legacy. And then that night he went on stage and he was just being all charming and, doing the kind of talks. And then suddenly someone at the back shouted out, just one of those drunken moments of excitement where someone's had a flashback to the comic strip in 1981. And suddenly Alexi just leapt up in the air and he just started going, that's right, Alexi's here. And I just looked at his wife Linda and she just put her head in her hands and you could just see her going, oh God, the comic's alive again. For 15 years I've had an author, an elevated author.
The drug addict fine wine. up some coke and has gone back. I used to use that library in Kensal Green. Did they close it down in the end?
If it's the one, it's the one that Mark Twain visited, and I think now they tried to. And I heard from someone the other day that there's volunteers there keeping it going.
Oh, good. I like that. You mentioned madness. There is a great. I have read half the book. There's a great bit. Honestly, this Carly Simon book was a nightmare. There's a great bit in there about the voices in our heads that I guess we all have to a certain extent, don't we? But you're suggesting that you're saying that some people are able to use the voices in their heads as a creative tool. You do to a certain extent.
I think that's the thing, is to try and make them as unintrusive and unobstructive as possible. There's Charles Fernerhoff, who I spoke to, who's written some wonderful books, including one all about how they're doing research into inner voices. And he talked to me about things like Pat Barker, the author of Ghost Road and Regeneration, amongst others. Apparently, she basically just sits there and waits for her characters to walk into her head. And she doesn't control them at all. She just listens to them and thinks, oh, good, Siegfried Sassoon saying lots today. That'll be helpful. And again, I think I know that I possess whatever voices I have in my head. But then when people do have problems, when it does seem like something separate, something which is an unpleasant voice, what they're starting to do with research, in the way that Nina Conti, of course, has a puppet. And, ventriloquism you create for that. I mean, Nina, in the book, it's very interesting. She basically says that she didn't realise, but if anything, Monkey's the honest bit, and it's kind of... so what they do is they create avatars. So people sit and they make a face. They actually physicalise and go, right, this now is that voice that I have, and this is what that voice looks like. And that's part of, I think, a few times in the book, that thing that whether you're dealing with bereavement, whether you're dealing with intrusive voices, all the things, one of the things we can do as human beings is turn things into stories, turn them into an object, turn them into something. I mean, I found that when my mum died, and then the first tour that I did after that, I did a couple of stories. They're quite stupid stories around the time that she... But I think in some ways what I was doing, by being able to turn it into a story, it made it was something that I could perhaps control more.
They do. I know with kids that have been abused, they do a thing where they get them to put a glove puppet on, and the puppet talks about what happened to save, so it's to save the kid talking about it. Because quite often my voice is a different. It's funny, the voices you hear. My negative voice, not so much now. It's kind of worn off a bit, but it still comes up. My negative voice is someone I went to college with. So 25 years ago, someone who I really looked up to and thought was very creative and very clever, and was a friend, but was also a bit of a bully. And he stopped. We kind of stopped hanging out when I got the 11 o'clock show, because he thought it was just everything that was wrong with comedy. That kind of Chris Morris ripoff. But his is the voice that I hear that says, well, that's no good. That's a lousy idea. Why do you think that's going to work? Have your voices, are they different? Have you got people that say different things to you?
I mean, a lot of them I say out loud.
Right.
Because I'm around the house quite a lot on my own.
Singing
so
Sweet Caroline.
Singing Sweet Caroline. I was explaining to someone today that sometimes I have the actor Nicky Henson in my head.
Nicky Henson?
Star of Witchfinder General, Psychomania, and an episode of Fawlty Towers, and also an RSC actor and stuff. And he had one of those 1970s voices where I'm wearing a cravat and I'm in a speedboat. And sometimes, so it actually comes out, and I'll just walk around the house going, I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I think I'm going to have a cup of tea because I'm Nicky Henson. So it's kind of... So I think a lot of my love of films and media and stuff like that kind of comes into it. But I've never... I mean, I have the inner monologue, which is very judgmental, but I kind of know it's another fragment of me that's just going, that's the interest, for so many people with that strange mix of, self-loathing and high regard, which is strange clash.
That voice, the critical one, is that the one you're trying to entertain and make laugh?
I think it's a separate thing. I think it's what I count as my reality. I think it's. I mean, I was saying to you when I walked into the studio, the moment you get a book out, you think, I wonder if it will be ignored or hated. Yeah. And you find that you don't have the third voice that goes, it might go really well. Yeah. And so I think people have that to a greater or lesser extent, and part of what you need to try and do, and it's part of the thing that I'm kind of is to sometimes just go, it's all right, shut up.
Yeah.
It's okay. And that's,
Wow.
and it's a much greater battle. I mean, the tour that I'm doing at the moment is called Chaos of Delight. And the whole 2 hours is just about things that I think are fantastic and delightful and wonderful and possibilities of the future and scientific. And by doing that for 2 hours, it means that on stage I have to be really, and I mean it, and I do mean it, if there are things that I really... But then... That means 4 hours of the night, because for 2 hours afterwards I'm still happy. And so I think... But it is harder. It's much easier to go on stage and go, here's something else to get really angry about. Who else is angry about this thing? And that's quite... But then it means that you're just extending the anger of the day.
Well, that's what we try and do with this show. You know, this is why we call it the late night alternative, because every other show right now is doing Muslims, is doing Boris Johnson's speech, is doing Brexit, is doing Trump. And we kind of thought, well, let's try and make a show that's celebratory. You know, that's why we got you in. We get people in that we like. We don't get every person touting a book. We get people in we like. And we kind of celebrate. It doesn't always work. We don't always get it right. But, you know, for 3 hours a night, we try and celebrate stuff, celebrate community and stories and art, you know, and Jeff Goldblum, you know.
I know, I'm so envious.
But it would be Jeff so Goldblum. Easy to come on and go, man, that Boris Johnson, what a tosser, you know, and that, or whatever. But there's enough negativity around anyway.
It's become such such a monetised thing now.
Yeah.
You know, the elevation of venality and spite, the trends of and I know it's, you know, there's a point. It's also much easier to, if you wander around, people think you're much clever if you I'll tell you what is it about human beings? I went to Westfield Shopping Centre the other day, I looked at them all, they're awful, just like insects. Saw someone in the nail bar. It's very easy to do that. Make it easy. It's like, it's harder to write reviews of things you love. I write, as you know, I write a column about radio for The Big Issue, and I write about you. I only write about things that I like, because I think there's loads of things out there that I probably won't like. But why don't I steer people to, hey, you might not know about this. But sometimes I go, I've only got 200 words on this, because basically what I'm saying is, it's really brilliant, and it makes me feel happy. And then you work hard enough, and you go, no, I can write a whole column of this.
But it's harder.
It's harder.
We'll take a quick break. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio with Iain Lee, Catherine Boyle and Robin Ince.
A star-crossed soapbox for sailor boys, stable girls,
I'm on the edge.
and stripper grands.
It depends who you're with, and it depends on the situation.
Late night speech radio with a difference.
Thank you.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Here we go. I was just saying to Robin, you seem a lot more relaxed than maybe 10 years ago. I've seen you since then, but that's kind of when perhaps I saw you a bit more. You seem a lot more relaxed and chilled out, I think the kids say. Is that fit in with...
Yeah, I mean, it's what we were talking about during that break. There's just... I really do love what I do, and it really, I mean, that's why sometimes you can then hit a bit of a wall, because when you get, sometimes I think the worst insomnia I get is when I'm doing a show that I love, because it's as if your brain's going, I can find a way of pulling the rug from out of you. But overall, I think I'm in a very fortunate position where I get to do really exciting and bizarre things, and you know, standing on a stage, standing in Wembley Arena, interrupting Brian Cox after he's confused the audience for 25 minutes, and then being on a raised plinth doing an impersonation of Brian Blessed, right? And then you go, there's 10,000 people watching me go, shut your face, Brian! Oh, why aren't we going to Mars? You stupid bastard! Right, now that, and you go, and you come off stage afterwards and you go, didn't think I'd get that opportunity in my career.
I think last time I saw you was the Book Shambles, your podcast that you do with Josie Long. Josie Long is one of the funniest human beings that ever existed. She's just great, and we should put her on a throne and carry her around. Honestly, I think she's great. I'm in love with her. And I'd only, and that was maybe a couple of years ago. And I was
That's only about a year ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'd only recently discovered the Infinite Monkey Cage, and I don't know why, it just passed me by. I'd heard of it, I knew it existed, but I'd never really listened. And I'd started listening to it a little bit before I came in and did Book Shambles. And it's so good.
It's the most fun to do.
It's so good. It's funny, it's clever, it's intelligent, you learn something and you laugh. Honestly, I thought it was so brilliant. I don't know how that happened, though, how you ended up with Brian Cox, how that whole thing came together.
It was kind of, I mean, in some ways it was an accident in the way that about 14 years ago, or maybe 15, I started doing shows which mixed up a bit of science as well. And then I used to do a show called The Book Club, where I'd get lots of kind of fantastic, weird acts. There used to be Gorka Gogo, who did fantastic film felt costumes and puppets, and they used to do things like Elvis, the Elephant Man, Elvis, and Liberani, who was half Liberace and half Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator.
Liberani, come on.
My mate Joanna Neary and Josie did a lot of them as well, and we had lots of different people doing them, and Noel Fielding turned up and stuff. And then I thought, right, I've really enjoyed doing this, but I wonder if I could take this ridiculous kind of variety show and put a bit of science in it as well. So I would then get musicians and comedians, and then every now and again I go and I'll just throw in a particle physicist, and people think, there's a particle physicist. I wasn't expecting. That's quite. I didn't know about it. So that was kind of the start. And then I did a pilot with Brian. I can't remember it was Brian and the scientists Adam Rutherford and Kevin Fong. And I was just down the line as a kind of, intermittent irritant to, again, break up the science a bit. Yeah. And someone listened to it and just thought, hang on a minute, maybe actually we want to do a show where you've got the intermittent irritant and the physicist. And that's kind of where it came from. And our producer, Sasha, who is remarkable and has a real tough job sometimes editing. I mean, I know when sometimes people come to see the live show, they think, well, I wasn't really expecting to be like that. And I go, yeah, this is the bits that you are not. Someone described me once, said, it's like seeing the id of Radio 4. They've unleashed it. But it was... So it happened, and I'd known Brian, and we'd done a few gigs together, and we'd done stuff like that, and it's just, and especially after, I think about the third series, we really hit the stride, and it's a joy, and we both genuinely love doing it.
Yeah.
It's like
you can tell that from listening to it.
We've got a new series, we're going to do it, what are we going to do? We're going to do one about the latest things that we found out about particle accelerators, and we're going to have one where we've got a guest raven that comes on and actually does some tricks, which will be brilliant radio, and I think that, and when we toured, I mean, we did last year and the year before, we did, I think, 150 dates together, and we only argued twice, and both times it was over equations. And some of the technicians said, when we were doing like the arena tour, so we've never seen two people just as relaxed, and we'd just be backstage, mucking about, have a little in-joke, and then suddenly you go, the Brian Eno music's nearly finished, you better wander out there. And then, welcome to
He's
the
a phenomenon, Brian Cox, because kids love him. My mum has got such a crush on Brian Cox. Dear God, it's horrific. And I didn't know until we chatted last year. You were doing these arena shows and stuff.
It's crazy.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah,
that's so exciting.
Absolutely. And it's brilliant. I mean, the fact that he can be such a big draw, and they're a joy to do, is because just that balance between the science and then we do some mucking around and you look at the audience. Mothers and fathers send pictures of their 8-year-olds who are sitting there with their exercise books out, making notes, in Nottingham Arena. I didn't quite get that. Sorry, can you just go back a bit?
Funny. Isn't that great?
And it's such a broad, and the lovely when you get tweets from people going, I didn't really understand a word of it, but my 10-year-old's explaining now. It's getting a lot, and yeah, it's
and Book Shambles. You're still doing Book Shambles.
Still doing Book
your
Shambles.
Podcast about books with Josie Long.
Yep, the next Josie is not doing so many of them at the moment because she has had a baby.
So
she will be back. We try and do as many together as possible. But I've had Alan Moore is replacing Josie Long this week. I've done a couple of podcasts with Alan Moore and Barney Farmer, who writes the brilliant Viz cartoon strip Drunken Bakers, and who has written a book called Drunken Baker, which I promise you is utterly remarkable and brilliant. And if it wasn't, I think, something that grew out of Viz, then literally people would be going, this is one of the most fascinating monologues.
I'm going to have some of that.
It's really good.
Yeah. And that's going well, is it? But the thing about you and Josie is you've got very kind of, and I guess like this show to us in a smaller level, but you have a lot of very nice kind of hardcore fans that like everything you do and follow you around and what's the word I'm for? Grateful. They're grateful that there are people out there making something that doesn't quite fit into the norm. Where else are you going to get two comedians talking about books with a guest? In that much detail. So Vonnegut heavy. And I imagine you've got a lot of people that are grateful that you're doing these kind of things.
Well, it's just I think you have that moment of realisation. Some people get it earlier, some people get it later. But I remember in an earlier part of my career, there was that bit where you're going, I suppose I better try and do that panel show and I better go on that thing. And you think there's a route. And then there is a point, and some people do use that route, and some people... But for me, there was a sudden point where I went, hang on a minute, what am I thinking? Why did I go into this in the first place? And I remembered when I was 15, 16 years old, going down to, kind of comedy clubs and cellars, and there's an a cappella singer, and there's someone doing some kind of weird kind of acrobatics, and then there's, at that point, Vic Reeves holding a lobster, or was it a crab, while singing the Star Trek theme tune. And I thought, that's, the thing you need to do, or what I needed to do, was do things that I really loved and was passionate about. And so I think all the things that I do with Josie and I do with Brian and the things I do on my own are things that I really care about. And then you go... And a lot of the ideas started off with people going, that's a terrible idea. Like the science shows, people went, that's not going to work at all.
Yeah.
And some people would say to me, there's no money in that. Why are you doing that? And then you do find yourself years down the line, as I said, standing on a rising plinth, shouting as Brian Blessed, and you go, oh, it's the right idea, wasn't it?
It's because I think it's because we need wonder, little moments of wonder. We seem to be being told all the time that the world is crap and everything's going to go to hell in a handcart and there's nothing we can do about it but be cross about it. And what you do is, with it, whether it's the books or the science, it's just a little moment of discovery.
I know, I agree. I think we need one, and I think, but we recognise that a bit more having kids of 6 and 8. And, you know, you see the world through their eyes.
For them, science. I mean, this is a whole generation of kids for whom science is not hard and frightening. Like when we were doing it at school, it's kind of, oh, this is going to be so complicated and boring, right? Not so anymore, because I mean, you make it sing and dance like a Jean-Michel Jarre concert.
That's it. I think. I mean. Lots of different things that I'm involved with. And the book is one of them, actually. It's about these things, which is giving people permission. Giving people, you know, a lot of the science things that we started doing was because I thought, well, I was, you know, there was a point where I became rubbish at science, and you live that time where you go, oh, I don't really have a science mind. And then I started working these things and going, well, everyone's got questions, as you said, wonder and curiosity and wondering why the stars twinkle and all those things. And then by doing, you know, one of my silly shows where I go, I'm an idiot, but it doesn't mean that I can't try and ask these questions. And then people go, oh, that's all right then. And I think, you know, in the same way, dealing with, you know, inner voices, strange behaviour, all that kind of thing, of just saying we are a multitude. We're such a confused mix of things, and you have permission. I mean, Josie does a great thing called Arts Emergency, which is to try and get more and more people from deprived backgrounds, etc., doing saying you can be in the arts. You are allowed to be a poet. You are allowed to be a screenwriter. You are allowed to. And again, so much I think of popular culture is saying this is not for you, and this and I think, you know, like you were talking about this show as well, which is filled with a lot of joyous things and a lot of celebratory things, and a lot of it is saying you can be you know, permission to be absurd.
I'm enjoying your book. We didn't get. I've just read the bit about persona, and I thought that was brilliant. But we'll you come back anytime you want, Robin.
Thank you.
It's genuinely, it's really nice to see you. The book is Robin Ince, I'm a Joke, and So Are You, a comedian's take on what makes us human. I'm going to tweet. You can get it in all the usual places, but I'm going to tweet the Big Green Bookshop link. I'm going to find that in a second. At Robin Ince.
Yep.
Any other things that you need to tell them about?
I mean, I'm on tour perpetually until the 17th of December. So this week I'm in Bristol, Birmingham, Bromsgrove, Ilkley, Leeds and Henley. Then I'm in Cheltenham, Newcastle, North Allerton, Nottingham, and I've forgotten from there on.
Isn't that exhausting?
Yeah, it's kind of... But again, it's that bit where... you get the exhaustion and you can go, you know, you're in that hotel room where there's the noise and you hear all that, but then you grab that other bit and go, imagine. It's like when you think, I wish I could just have a normal job. Do you know what? We should all be punished when you think that and go, well, you are going to have to get up at 6:30 and you're going to have to stand on an awful train and it's going to be packed and you're going to do something joyless. So, it's not that it's always easy, but it's... And sometimes before a gig, there are moments where you just go... oh, this one hasn't sold as well. But the moment you hit the stage and you think, whoever's turned up, this will be a laugh.
Come on, Birmingham, pull your fingers out. What the hell is wrong with you? Robin, it's nice to see you.
Thank you.
03444991000. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The wild man of late night radio, Iain Lee.
Differently interesting nocturnal emissions from a legend of late night radio. On air and off the leash.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Well, that was nice. I enjoyed that. I didn't tweet the link then because I was chatting. I will tweet the link in the next break. You can get it from the usual places, but we kind of do try and support the indie bookshops when we can, and Big Green Bookshop has always been very helpful to us. I'm happy to do that. Robin Ince, I'm a Joke, So Are You. So the title had my nearly 7-year-old boy in hysterics. I couldn't quite work out why, and neither could he. But that's what it's all about. The lines are open, as you know. It's always slightly difficult to encourage you guys to call in when we've had a guest at the top of the show, and that's fine. I'm happy to sit here and chat about stuff. I do want to talk about my uvula, my in the back of my throat. Honestly, it's the weirdest thing, and it sounds to me that my voice sounds completely different. I'm guessing it probably doesn't sound that different to you. I might sound a little bit bunged up, but my vulva is hitting the back of my tongue the whole time I'm speaking. And if I do this, in fact, Sam, turn your microphone on. I'm gonna come and show you. I'm gonna come and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, right. So I don't want to get too close. Right, can you see my mouth?
Yeah.
You see it's hanging at the back of my mouth. Right.
God, blimey. Whoa!
And then
I want to, can you not feel tempted to grab it?
And pull it?
Yeah.
Would you pull me off? Isn't that weird, though?
That is
the
bizarre.
weirdest thing? It's so strange. And it's blowing my mind, man. It's blowing my mind. So I was very self-conscious the whole chat with Robin as to whether I was sounding weird or not. I don't know, man. This cult. What is the vulva for? What does it do? It's got to be. Here we go. This is the phone in 0344 499 1000. Bits of the body that are useless. Some of you may indeed phone up and say your genitals. I couldn't possibly comment. Bits of your body that are useless. So, the vulva, the appendix. We know that. We know the appendix serves no purpose. Tonsils? I don't think they serve anything, do they? Tonsils are gone. Adenoids? I'm trying to work out. This is what we're trying to work out. How much... thank you, CJ. I certainly don't have one of those in my mouth. No, well, the Adam's apple, isn't that what makes men's voices deeper? Isn't it? Is that what the Adam's apple does? Because women don't have an Adam's apple. I thought, what does an Adam's apple... Has anyone ever cut someone's throat open and ripped out an Adam's apple? Because I want to know what it looks like, man. I want to know what it looks like. How much of the body could we get rid of before we became useless? Vulva, appendix, tonsils, adenoids. I'm putting the Adam's apple down until a medical man, what do they call it? Doctor, medical lady, calls in 0344 499 1000. I reckon. All right. Is my phone ringing? I'm busy. Your middle three fingers. You only need your thumb and your pinky, don't you? Let me pick up a book. Yeah, picked up a book and I'm opening a book with the other hand. Yeah, no, all right, fine. So middle three fingers, they're gone. Likewise, middle three toes, they're gone. What else in your body? Sam's getting into this now. Sam's loving this. Sam's thinking. We got Sam thinking. 0344 499 1000. Eyebrows. Are we going into hair? Let's go. Well, let's put all body hair. All body hair. Okay, that's where we are so far. It's not a bad list. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you'd be very welcome to. And you know the deal, guys. You can call in about anything. Absolutely anything. Big story, small story, whatever you want. Some as big as your head. Here's the question, though. Here's the question. As well as parts of your body that we can get rid of that are superfluous, what the hell? What the hell? Me and Kath supposed to say to Jeff Goldblum tomorrow when we meet him at 3:00. What are we supposed to say to Jeff Goldblum? I've read a few interviews. He seems like such a nice guy. Like, such a nice guy. And here's the thing. Here's my kind of tips for interviewing. Got to suss the vibe out. You can feel the vibe pretty quickly from the person that you are interviewing as to how much fun you can have or as to how much you've got to stick to the press release. Right? And I don't like those press release interviews. I don't like those. There's no fun. You know, the deal generally is, and I've done a few of those junkets where, you know, the thing where it's like a movie star and they've got a big poster of the movie behind them and you've got to talk about the movie. The rules generally are you spend like 40% talking about the movie and the other 60% you can mess around. That's kind of the deal. That's the unspoken deal. Some people only want to talk about the movie. I never forget, I got flown out to Los Angeles once for a day to interview the cast of Lost. And I had to interview Matthew Fox, who is famously miserable. Jack. Famously miserable, right? And this was one of those horrible junkets where you get ushered into a room 2 hours later than you're meant to. The celebrity, the actor is sat there, you sit down, and there's someone with a stopwatch. Someone with a stopwatch. And you've got 3 minutes. Jeez. What is that? I've flown all the way to LA for this. And the woman with the stopwatch was really annoying me, right? Because she was very, well, you can't ask Matthew about this. You can't ask Matthew about that. You can only ask him about this. And what she did, may have been 4 minutes, she started the stopwatch as soon as I sat down. So there was no, right, is everybody ready? Okay, nice to meet you, Matthew. Yep, okay, should we start? I noticed that she'd started the stopwatch as soon as I sat down. So the time, and so first minute was spent on niceties until she went, the clock is running. I thought, right, I'm going to get my own back on you. So I'm asking these boring, mundane questions about Lost. What do you think about Jack's character? This is when Sky had just taken it over and they hadn't shown the first 2 series. Do you think that people who haven't seen the first 2 series will be able to pick it up? And at 30 seconds, she raised her hand to say, you've got 30 seconds, make this the end. And so what I did, knowing that Matthew Fox was an idiot and quite pretentious, and knowing there was only 30 seconds left, and so to annoy him and annoy the timekeeping lady more than him, I said, OK, final question, Matthew. Tell me about your acting technique. Where does it come from? 4-minute answer. And the woman, you could see the woman with the stopwatch who was sat behind him, just giving me the evils. 4-minute answer. Overran. And it was boring. And we never used any of it. So up yours, Delors. Let's go to Kelly. Good evening, Kelly.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Kelly.
Hello.
Hello, Kelly.
I've just had to listen to all your rubbish. You've just been...
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly.
Going on about.
I'm really sorry, Kelly.
That's okay.
Let's not listen to your rubbish. Let's go to Ross.
Hello.
Good evening, Ross.
Good evening, Ian. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Right, pointless bits of your body. Well, of course it is your toes.
Well, here's the thing. We're doing a list of bits of the body you don't need.
They do kind of balance you, you know.
Well, I've said we can get rid of the 3 middle fingers and the 3 middle toes. We need the big toe and the pinky to stay upright, don't we?
No, there's no reason for them. What's the point? There's no reason. Oh, no, I'm taking my shoes off.
Okay.
I'm looking at I'm taking, oh my God, they stink. I'm taking my shoes and my socks off. What's the point? They're ugly, they're disgusting, they get in the way, you have to trim your toenails. No, sorry, getting rid of them.
Well, hang on a second, lover boy. Have you ever had someone put your big toe in their mouth and suck?
No, weirdo.
No.
Clearly you haven't.
Not weirdo, Ross. Try it, man.
Oh.
Try it.
No, thanks. That's just wrong at every level. Why do I want my cheesy feet going in some lady or man in their mouth?
Have you ever received a blowjob?
Many times.
Right.
Thanks.
So you'll put your cheesy knob in a man or a woman, but you won't put your cheesy feet in a man or woman. Thanks for your call, Ross.
Have a word with yourself, Ross.
Honestly, it's my big toes are tingling in anticipation at the thought of it already. Derek's got it. Nipples on men. Okay, fine. Fingernails. Okay, well, we're losing some of the fingernails when we lose the 3 fingers. Nipples on men. I'll have that, definitely. So far, we've got the vulva, the appendix, tonsils, adenoids, Adam's apple, the middle 3 fingers, the middle 3 toes, all body hair, and nipples on men.
Well, your body hair's useful.
What for?
Right, it's there to keep your bits clean. It's like the eyelashes of your privates.
Well, then why does everybody shave?
Well, I mean, because they're Molly's. It'll come round again. I predict a return to 70s style shapings.
I think so. I think that's going to be the way forward. Huh?
I mean, what's the alternative?
We're compiling. Well, okay, but you're putting forward.
Putting things back on.
You're putting forward a stronger argument for body hair than you are for fingers.
I think fingers are also important.
No, fingers. Those 3 fingers are gone because you can still, with this and this, you can still do it.
Are you going to play the piano?
Oh, I'll just play. I can probably still play the piano actually because I'm brilliant.
Are you going to tickle a dog's belly?
I hate tickling dogs' bellies. You do it just so they don't sniff your balls. That's all that is for.
Why do they do that thing with their leg? Because that to me.
Which thing? The humping? Oh,
no. When you that to me suggests. I don't know. Are they getting aroused?
I don't know.
Is that what that is?
I don't understand dogs, and I would quite happily. You teased me because of my new glasses today. I
didn't tease
I got
you.
beef with you.
I didn't tease him. What happened was
I got beef
you were very
with you.
proud of your new glasses, and you said that they aren't very strong.
You did what you did with my shoe. These are going to go in the bin now.
Oh, don't be silly.
This the same thing that when you took the piss out of my shoes and they went in the bin. Where are those shoes? I chucked them in the bin. Why? Because you laughed at them.
You hadn't chosen those shoes, though. They've been chosen for you by someone who didn't know you.
Yeah.
Those glasses are cool, right?
Yeah.
But you presented them to me by saying they're really weak, and so I looked through them and went, yeah, they are.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You laughed when they don't do nothing.
Well, only because I'm really, really blind.
Sorry, Kelly, are you getting bored listening to this rubbish again?
No, sorry. What? If you hadn't cut us off, I was going to say, I really think you're fantastic.
But you started off by saying you were listening to my boring rubbish. So
No, because I didn't understand it.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Apology accepted, Kelly. Welcome to the show. What can we do for you?
It's like, because your man, I've never phoned into a show like this before. So your man was like, oh, just hold on.
Yes.
I'll put you through.
That's
and I
how
was
it
like,
works.
what's going on here?
Well, that's how it works. It's a phone-in show. You phone in, you come on.
Well, I don't know. Do I?
It's a phone-in show. You phone in and you come on the air.
Oh, I know, but I'm new to all this, man.
Okay, well.
So be nice to us.
No, you were rude. You came on and you were rude to me. You're not new to manners, are you?
Well, I'm apologising to you. So are you going to accept that apology, or are you just going to continue to, like...
Oh.
Continue like what?
Well,
I've already said... Well, I can still be offended and accept your apology. Those two things are fine. I've already said...
I phoned up
Jesus Christ, because you want to do a monologue.
No, because you were asking about,
I was talking. We were in the middle of a conversation. Anyway, let's...
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, then. Okay, Kelly. Let's
but the reason why I phoned up is because you were asking for people to phone in about unwanted body parts.
Yes? What's yours? Your mouth?
Oh, my goodness. That's so rude. Anyway... Little toes.
Is it your ears? For listening?
Little toes.
Have you chopped your ears off already, Van Gogh?
Oh, you're so funny.
Thanks.
Little toes, though. Do you not think that's the point?
No, you need your little toes are the most important toe on your foot.
They are not.
Yes, they are. They're the ones that keep you upright.
No, they're not. Big toes.
No. Big toes do. Big toes help you know which way is north. The little toe, and this is true because I studied to be a chiropodist. Zoologist. I did study to be a chiropodist, specialising in zoology. And the small toes are the ones that do all of the weight, take all of the weight and do all of the support.
Toes.
The little toe.
There's a little toe.
Yeah. The little toe, yes, correct.
The older you get,
I call them the small toes.
Like bend inwards.
Yep. That's because of all the pressure of life.
Oh, the pressure.
Chop yours off and see what happens. You can do it. And here's the thing, you can easily chop off your...
I'd rather not.
Okay. You can do it with a pair of pliers.
Oh, no, don't. Don't even joke.
No.
I would never joke about removing bodily parts.
This isn't very nice. I just phone you up. You give us a load of abuse.
Sorry? I didn't give you a load of abuse.
Oh, okay.
You started it.
Anyway,
thanks for the call.
I've just made some cheese scones.
You've got what?
I've just made some cheese scones. Are you interested?
Some sheer scones?
Oh, my goodness.
What? What's happened? You seen a ghost? A burglar?
Would that make you interested? No, I haven't.
No, I don't know what you're saying.
Cheese.
Cheese. Okay, you've made some cheese scones.
Cheese scones. You might call them scones.
Gosh.
I might call them cheese scones. No, thank you.
Well, it's okay, because they're very nice, and I'm not sharing.
What you serving with your scones apart from sass?
Apart from what?
Are you single, Kelly? Marry me.
Are you asking?
Marry me. We could have so much fun. It would be, the electricity would be, it would just be, marry me. Do it. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it.
I can feel a spark across the phone.
Yeah,
already.
let's do a Jeremy Kyle. I'm going to marry a listener.
I know. Come on, then.
I'm coming.
Come on.
Where are you?
I'm here.
I'm coming. I'll be there about 3:30.
Okay.
Leave the door open and your knickers off.
Bring it. Bring a bottle of cava.
Okay, classy lady. I like it, Kelly. I'll see you later.
See you later.
Well, that has got to be, and we've had some nuts calls. That is the most nuts call ever. Get her a postcode, Sam, and I've got no idea what that was. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Closing time conversation for taxi inspectors, taxi drivers, and taxidermists. Great big talk for the wee small hours.
You've been trolling me big time, mate.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Can you stop it? I've seen it. Yes, it's massive.
Is it flapping? I can make it flat.
No, it's just sitting there looking all
Watch,
big.
I'll make it flat, right? I'll make it flat.
God. You know you've drunk quite a lot of coffee. Oh, God. Stop it.
It's flapping, isn't it? It's flapping in the
I
wind.
could grab it and tie a big bow on it.
Yeah, Sam wants to pull it. He's a dirty boy. Sam's really coming out of his shell tonight.
He is. What's going on with him?
He's a dirty, dirty boy. Good evening, Damien.
Hiya.
Hello, Damien.
I've got hello, Kath, as well. I've
Hello,
got hurdles. Them body parts we don't need.
Yes,
right?
let's do it.
Bear with me.
Okay.
Not the thumb toe. We need the thumb toe. Not the pinky toe. We need that.
The thumb toe.
My eldest used to call it the thumb toe.
Yeah. No.
Not the up yours toe. We need the up yours toe. Get rid of the two toes in between all them.
So toe number 2 and toe number 4.
But we look like parrots.
Because I get claustrophobic feet, and I'm thinking if we get rid of them, I won't have claustrophobic feet anymore.
Oh, because they'll have more space.
Yes. But then, as I've been on hold, and your phone bill must be absolutely massive, though, every time I've been on hold, right? The sciatic nerve, the bastard.
Well, hang on, that's the one that goes up the spine, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I've got down my leg, I think. It's only there to cause me pain.
Okay. All right, so we're going to get rid of the sciatic nerve. Just get rid of the middle toe as well.
I don't know, because it'd be maybe, yeah.
Have you ever had your toes sucked off, Damien?
I think yeah, but I'm 42 now. I can't remember. It's a long time.
If you'd have had your toes sucked, you'd know about it. My big toes are tingling just thinking about it.
I let my dog lick my toes now and again. And yeah, I know what you're saying.
Do you really?
Of course I do, yeah. Nothing sexual in it.
My cat... no, you just happen to be playing with yourself at the time.
I'm
not a weirdo. My cat bites my nipples from time to time. She hasn't done it for a while, actually, but she will have a little... And it's not a chew. She'll just, clamp her teeth round it, squeeze for, a second, and then let go. It is the most amazing feeling in the world.
Yeah, we're getting a bit dodgy here now.
Yeah, totally.
Are we crossing a line, Damien?
I don't know why he smears kitty cat on them, but it's not sexual.
And I put my finger up her bum.
Oh, stop it!
It's not sexual, Damien, you pervert. Thanks, Vic. I don't know what that noise was at the end, but it sounded like a release. So, bits of your body you don't need. So far, the vulva, the appendix, the tonsils, the adenoids, the Adam's apple, the middle 3 fingers, the middle 3 toes, all body hair, nipples on men, and the sciatic nerve.
Do we need necks?
Ooh, your head will fall off.
No, you could just have, like, a little hinge, like a Barbie or a Ken.
OK, so you're going to remove the neck and then reattach the head. I love it. I love your thinking.
Well, I mean, it's less to damage, isn't it?
All right, then, fine. OK. Then you don't need forearms.
No.
You don't need just chop that out and attach your hands to your elbows.
Yeah.
Because you've still got the manoeuvre. You can still manoeuvre. You just haven't got this bit here. This is great. Well, if we're getting rid of forearms, let's get rid of shins.
Shins or thighs? Do we just attach the knee to the...
No, we get rid of shins, because if you get a kick in the shin, that hurts. Kicking in the thigh, shins, gone.
I'm always bashing my thigh on the door.
Well, OK. OK, well, shins, I'll make that optional then. You can keep your shins.
Shin stroke thighs.
Shin stroke thighs. OK, fine, this is great. I
mean, it was, it took me a while to get my head around it, but actually it turns, I mean, as long as we're not expecting to look exactly the same as we did before.
As much as this pains me to say this, because it's my favourite part on any body. Oh, Sam is a genius, by the way. Too right, we're getting rid of the chin.
Oh, wow.
The chin is gone, thank you, man.
Well, because we've got no neck then. No, we're just an extension of the torso.
We're Gail Platt.
Let's just... Forget the head. Let's put it all in the torso.
I'm disappointed with myself there, guys. Can I do that again, that line? We're Gail Tilsley. That's better. That's better. Gail Platt. It's too modern. And as much as it pains me to say this, because it's my favourite part of the body, buttocks. Buttocks is gone.
Oh, no.
No.
No, think about it.
Nope.
What are you going to sit on?
A chair.
No, it's going to hurt, though.
No, you have a nice comfy chair. There we go. Buttocks.
Just something with a couple of dents in.
Buttocks.
For the back of your knees.
Someone... 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number.
Grab pussy!
No! That's not the one I was looking for.
You're a pervert.
That's closer. I've really got to sort these out.
Find me on boy.
No. Hang on a minute. It's getting closer. There's a good one of these I want somewhere. Tell you what, play the trail while I find this.
Experience the unconventional,
Evening, boys.
the unpredictable, and the completely unorthodox.
Exactly.
With rule-free Iain Lee. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
I've got no internet for the last 4 days.
On Talk Radio.
I can't find the clip I want. You say hello to David.
Hi, David.
Hey, Kathleen.
Found it!
I'm David Babcock and I got my willy stuck in a hoover.
There it was.
Can we move on from the past, please?
Can you speak into your phone, please, David?
You've had some problems with this phone. I think it's...
No. We haven't had any problems with this phone.
You're a fanny.
You've had problems with this phone.
It's from China.
Okay, a little bit racist, mate.
No, I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing.
Well, the Chinese do know what they're doing. They're China. There's like 1.2 billion of them.
I think it's 1.3.
Okay, well, that was quick.
Hey, we've got something in common, me and you.
We're both sad losers and we're single?
I'm not single.
Oh!
I'm David Babcock and I got my willy stuck in a hoover.
Henrietta Hoover does not count.
No, it's... no, I was going to do a rude joke, but I don't want to do it.
No, good.
No, I've got I had a string uvula.
A string?
A stringy uvula.
OK, go on, talk to us about your uvula.
It went stringy once.
What does that... I don't know what that means, David.
You've got a stringy uvula.
No,
I've got a stringy
I have a swollen uvula.
Has it not gone all long and dangly?
No, it's like a big red balloon.
Can I show you what? I sent it to our friend Scott.
Yes.
And Scott,
doctor now, is he?
Scott said it looked like something, and he highlighted it by doing a little drawing on it.
Scott, if yours looks like that, you should go to the doctor.
I'll tweet it. Scott basically made my uvula look like a little willy in the back of my throat. Which is let's not even go there. Let's not go down that. Let's not go down that horny road.
It's childish.
No, well, there's no childish, mate. That's a bit weird. Hello?
So, Babbers, go on.
Babbers! Come on, Babbers. Come on, my Babbers. Make love to me, my Babbers. Oh, my lovely little Babbers. Oh, Dada's going to look after Babbers.
No. I think that Kelly sent you a bit bonkers.
OK, Dada's going to look after Babbers.
No, Daddy, no.
Dada's going to look after Babbers.
No, you're not look after my Babbers.
What? This is getting...
Tell us about your stringy uvulans.
There's a sentence. Say that again. Say it again.
Tell us about your stringy uvulan.
Can you click that for me, please, Sam? Thank you.
Uvula.
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 Ovaries.
No. It went all long overnight. I thought I was choking on my own tonsils.
All long overnight.
I know what he means, though. Mine isn't stringy. Mine is fat. But...
Yeah.
But I know exactly what he means.
If you push your tongue up, can you press it against the roof of your mouth?
No, not my uvula, no, because it's... Well, hang on.
Oh, God.
Right.
Yes, I can! Yes, I can! Oh, my God, I think I'm going to be sick! Oh, that's horrendous.
It feel like you got the little maggot in your mouth.
Yes, it does!
I think Kath's jealous. You're not part of the uvula club.
It's all right, I'm fine.
Right.
My uvula is not bothering me at this point, which is always a mercy.
He's pressing it against the roof of his mouth, isn't he?
Yes, he's having a little go on it.
I've just retweeted the picture that Scott has vandalised my uvula and drawn a penis, turned it into a penis.
Yeah.
So enjoy that.
He's an artist, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, are you aware that they've got a new series of Most Haunted or something?
Yes.
Yes, we are very aware of it. Yeah, we are. Why? Have you been asked to do it, David?
No, but I tried to get that feeling on my podcast and she ignored me.
Oh. How is the podcast going?
Very badly. Do you want to come on it again?
No, I've done it once. But
Right.
but Kath would like to come on it.
I'm busy.
No, you're not busy. You can do it. You've got plenty of time.
I haven't. I'm really busy this
You've
week.
not- you
Oh,
know-
so busy.
We'll do it next
Oh,
week.
so busy. I know.
Next week you haven't got anything.
Forever.
You told me you were worried because you've got nothing on next week.
Beg pardon?
She'll do it next week, David. What day is good for you?
Any day. Hey, Kath, send me a DM and keep it clean this time.
Oh, he called you out. He slut-shamed you.
No tit pics.
Babcock,
Hello?
you send me any more
Right, okay.
vacuum cleaner shots?
Okay, let's give this end.
I'm going to be forwarding them to the police.
Uvulva, uvula, appendix, tonsils, adenoids, Adam's apple, middle three fingers, middle three toes, all body hair and nipples on men, sciatic nerve, neck, forearms, shins or thighs, chin and buttocks.
Oh, you know, you've forgotten an obvious one.
One testicle.
Funny bone.
Well, you don't need it, but I need mine because I'm funny. I'm a funny guy. You can't laugh without a funny bone. So we're keeping the funny bone. We're getting rid of one testicle and one womb.
No, they're quite important.
Well, how many have you got? Two?
One.
What?
You can get rid of an ovary.
Okay, one ovary. This is great. We're just making... What we're doing is we're just making the body a little bit more efficient.
Streamline.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're doing. And so far I think we're doing very, very well.
So effectively now we've got no neck, no chin. No. The head is just an extension of the body. It's like Ram Man.
No, I did that. I don't know if you remember about 5 minutes ago. I did the Gail Tilsley joke.
Yeah, but you've got no neck either.
Yeah, like Gail. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You can't tread on a performer's joke by doing the same joke again, but with just a different payoff.
No, never. No.
Yeah,
Different shape. Totally
yeah,
different
you
shape.
did. You just did the Ram Man. I did Gail Tilsley.
I think mine's better.
You think? I think we'll let the public decide. Let's go to Michael. Michael, whose was better?
Well, the old reference of Gail Tilsley, I think I preferred.
Thank you very
Suck
much,
up.
Michael. My favourite.
It's because they're scared of you.
My
Because they're scared of you.
favourite caller of the evening. What can I do for you?
Bend over a bit further.
Bits we need, bits we don't need, things we could do without.
Yes, please, mate. So I think Kath's
Okay.
attitude is something we could all do without. She's doing her best Oliver Hardy.
The little finger,
Yeah.
I think everyone thinks we could do without it, but you can't make a fist without a little finger.
Oh, that's like philosophy. But also it's incorrect. Of course you can.
Well,
I've made a fist without my little finger.
Well, it won't. You don't finish a fist if you hold your hand together.
Yeah, that what I made there will hit you and it will hurt you.
But you will hurt yourself.
Well, only because my little
your
finger is sticking out.
Well, yeah, but if your little finger wasn't there and you just had a little nubbin, and you had your 3 fingers closed, and your thumb is over your 3 fingers, if you hit someone, you'll hurt your fingers rather than your hand.
Who has told you this? I've trained with the late great Bruce Lee, my second uncle. This is true. Trained with him when I was a baby.
Oh, really?
When I was a baby, when I was about 2, I did a session with him. He's related. It was like a second uncle. I'm never quite sure how these lineage things work. And I remember him telling me, Ian, you can make a fist without a little finger if you want.
Well,
Bruce Lee told me
you
that.
Want to take the pain?
Well, what pain?
Probably what he meant.
No, well, there's no pain. You'll feel pain. You'll feel pain on your nose when you get biffed.
Well, that is true. That is also true. But the reason I know this, when I found it out, was I was on a job once, and the guy that I was interviewing had lost some of the use of his index finger.
Now that's Peter Pointer.
The Peter Pointer, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And he had the choice of having the finger locked so that it would just point without being able to be bent.
No, you can't permanently point. That's rude.
No, the doctor said we could. What was the other option?
The other option was to lose the finger, and the third option
was to put a hinge on it.
Replace the index finger, the Peter Pointer,
with a big hammer,
with his little finger.
No, shut
up.
Yeah.
No.
And they said if you go down that route, which we could do, you won't be able to make a fist.
No, he wouldn't be able to make a fist because
with a sticking out finger.
No, because his Peter Pointer would be his little finger, so that is going to make the fist, and he hasn't got a little finger, so that's going to make his fist hollow. Because the Peter Pointer is going to be a little finger, so that's not going to go all the way round, and so that's going to be a hollow. I mean, that's like a nub. That is a nub,
or a backwards fist, like having 2 left hands, perhaps.
I see what you're saying. I don't think it's quite that, but I do like the image. Imagine if you had 2 hands that were...
Handshakes would be strange.
Sorry?
Handshakes would be difficult.
I thought you said hand sex.
That too, I guess.
Probably might feel like somebody else was doing it for you.
Did you were you interviewing him for a job?
No, not for a job. It was a video. It was a health and safety video. And he...
Which option did he go for?
He went for the pointy, straight out finger.
Shut up, man. He didn't.
Yeah. But he managed to get some bend into it, but he couldn't fully bend it.
Yeah, well, could they not just put a hinge on it like you get on a door?
Like he'd crushed his finger. It was all...
Yeah, one of those rolling mechanisms. It only works for the middle finger, the rolling, the twisting mechanism. Gosh, well, that makes you think. Michael, thank you for that. You win Caller of the Night so far. Thank you. If you want to beat Caller of the Night...
Kelly's not going to be happy. Again.
Kelly?
Yeah.
She called in a minute ago. I don't know what's going on there.
Uh-oh.
I think there's a little bit of the old...
well, you said you were going round.
I think there's a little bit of the old quack, quack, curly, whirly cuckoos going on there. My sister, if she really wanted to annoy me, she had so many ways to annoy me. One was just to look at me while I was playing. I'd be playing with my Action Man and she'd be looking at me. Go, stop looking at me. No, I'm not looking at you. Yeah, you are. Stop looking. No. Yeah. Mum! She's looking at me! Do you get that?
I was
constant.
I was that soldier.
Mum!
I used to also run at my sister when she's on the phone. Yeah. You know, you've got the phone at the end of the long corridor.
Yeah.
I used to get as far back as I could, back against the wall, and then run at her as fast as I could and stop inches from her face.
She had another way. Where was I?
Not touching her, though.
That was not the thing I was going to say about how she'd annoy me. What were we talking about?
Fingers.
Fingers?
This?
No. We didn't flip the bird in our house. No, we were very British. 2 fingers, the V's.
Traditional.
She had a way of annoying me. Joe, what ways did you annoy me? Let me count the ways. Talking about the fingers, sitting there with my action men. I don't know. I just hate my sister. That's what it
You
is.
like her now?
No, she
still look at you.
Yeah, she looks at me. What was it she used to do? She did something else that was really annoying.
That?
No, she never did the just sort of touching you, but like an inch away.
She used to stand in the doorway of your room and just hang over a little bit, so she wasn't actually in.
No, what was she doing? I don't remember. Who cares? Oh, 344. Let's talk radio.
The late night alternative with that man, Iain Lee. There's no strangers here, just friends you haven't stalked on Facebook yet.
Have never sent my picture to anyone who didn't request it.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Yes.
0344 499 1000 is a telephone number if you want to give us a call. Welcome to come to the show and speak to us about your mind.
Have you got that foreign language syndrome again?
Come buy a ticket to come and watch a movie with us, please. We sold half the tickets, then we just stopped. We just stopped selling tickets. So come see it Friday night, Saturday, October the 27th. It's £8, man. Jeez, it's £8.
It's a sexy vampire film.
Sexy. I've not seen it. It's not just you can come and see. It's a tiny little comedy club. You watch a film. There's a bar there. You're allowed to get up during the movie and get drinks.
I'm going to dress up.
I'm not, but you're welcome to. We're going to have a few prizes. Maybe have 3 prizes for like best dressed, stuff like that. You're allowed. No, don't chat during the movie. About like work and Google and trains and things. But you can cheer, you can laugh, you can shout stuff out. It's like if you're at home, right? And when I'm at home watching telly, and I come up with a funny, I'll say the funny, and it may be the kids are there, maybe no one's there. I'll say the funny. You're allowed to do that. You got a funny line when the film's happening. You can shout that out. I've not got a problem with that.
Share it with the group.
Share it with the group, guys. Cheer, boo. Me and Kath will do a little chitty chat before and after. I think we'll have a group discussion afterwards, deconstruct the film.
I haven't seen it, right? So it's 1985. I don't know how much...
You have seen it?
I haven't seen it for ages.
Thank you. That's a completely different sentence.
I was going to say, I haven't seen it since I'm a grown-up woman.
But you didn't say that. You said I haven't seen it. It was what, 1985?
Right.
So we're on a different... You're on the thought of you've not seen it.
Yeah.
I genuinely haven't seen it.
That was a little brackets in my head.
I genuinely haven't seen it. This is important, Catherine.
Let me finish my thought.
I can't do that because your initial thought was misleading to the cognoscenti.
I haven't seen it since
Thank you
about
so much.
1995, since I'm now woke, and I'm wondering now how rapey it is.
Sorry?
It might be. It was 1985. A lot of what we thought was romantic back in the day turns out was weird.
Not all 80s films are rapey.
A lot of them are.
Okay.
I don't think this one is, but there'll be stuff in there where we go, ooh, for a modern day audience.
It's £8, right? And it's going to be a fun night. You're not just coming to see a movie. It's going to be a fun old night, okay? And you say you can get boozed up. It's a nice little venue in King's. Get drunk. Who cares? Get drunk. Get high.
Town.
Get high. Don't take drugs in the venue, but you want to get high. You want to get the bus and get high on the bus. That's what they do. Smoke a doobie on the bus, man. Smoke a little fat one on the bus. On the top deck of the bus.
They'll be vaping them these days.
Oh, yeah, baby, I'm going to get so high. If you've got drugs, please don't show them to me, because I just can't say no. But we'll have a laugh. It's £8, right? IainLee.com/event. Now, here's the thing. We need to sell a few more tickets, because we want to do another one in November on a Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we really, really want to show the Mr. Rogers film, because I think we might be able to get the rights to the Mr. Rogers film. And more importantly, we would be... I'm going to go and interview the director of that film. You going to come to that?
Yeah.
Come to that. We're going to interview the director of the film in a couple of weeks, and we're going to film it, and we're going to show it. We plan to show it as like the B movie, either before or after. Maybe before. I think probably better. Before the Mr. Rogers movie. So this film is hardly getting shown. It's part of the London Film Festival, but it's hardly getting shown in this country. We want to show it, and we want to show an exclusive video interview with the director, but we can't afford to get the venue and get the movie unless we sell like another. We've got to sell another 10 tickets.
Yeah.
So sell another 10 tickets, man. That's it. So even if you don't want to come, just buy 10 tickets, you tightwads. But you know, I'm teasing slightly, but I also kind of mean it. It will be nice to see you there. As always, we stick around. You know, it's a tiny venue, so you can come and chat to us. It's not like we'll be in the green room. You know, we'll be there. It's a tiny little room. We'll come and say hello, have pictures, chat, talk nonsense, talk about the show, talk about the weather, talk about how much you prefer Kath. Oh, who cares?
No, that never happens. What happens is they ask for photos and I end up taking them.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Very, very steady hand. So, yeah, but come along. IainLee.com/event. All of our dates are up there, including... I knew Robin mentioned Halifax. I knew there was a reason it pinged in my head. I'm doing a show in Halifax, December the 2nd. Me and Rhys Dinsdale hosting a screening of Threads with a Q&A.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, mate. That is going to be a really... it's going to be such an unpleasant evening. So unpleasant. It's horrible. It is awful. I mean, it's brilliant, but it's hideous. So that should be a laugh.
I take it we're not dressing up for that.
You can dress up as the lady who peed herself if you want.
Well, I don't need to dress up.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. It's a great story in The Sun. And this kind of ties in with...
Hello.
Well, I just opened a random story that I hadn't seen. Okay, we're talking about Dennis Nilsson the other day. Now, was he... Dennis Nilsson was the... Yeah, because Leslie Nielsen is the aeroplane guy. Dennis Nilsson was the gay serial killer in Muswell Hill. Lived in... I just said the name of it yesterday. But anyway, I watched the thing about him on telly. So I've just opened The Sun, and this should be a bigger story. It's one of those little tiny things. Mass murderer Dennis Nilsson was also a serial cheat at Scrabble. Now, what's worse, the fact that he killed 15 young homosexual men and kept their bodies in his flat. He had one in the bed. Oof. He had one in the bed with him. He kept one in the bed with him. And then when they got too whiffy, like months later, he'd cut them up and flush them down the toilet. He would cut them up and flush them down the toilet. He had one sat at the table with him.
No.
Yes,
man. He
man.
used to chat to them.
Yes, man. And he would
Wow.
with the one in bed.
Oh
yes, man.
God.
Sam is disgusted, rightly so.
Yes.
But also, to make it worse, he was a cheat at Scrabble.
What a git.
He would pinch blank tiles so he could play high-scoring words, a fellow prisoner recalled. The piece for Inside Times. Hang on a minute. There's a newspaper for prisoners?
Yeah.
Why the hell am I not reading this? How do I subscribe to Inside Times?
I think you've got to do a bit bird.
Oh, that's easily done. The inmate said, whether we were playing Scrabble or chess, Dennis hated to lose, and I often spied him trying to find the blank tiles. But the killer, who was jailed for life in 1983 and died in May, was also remembered as a gentleman, a writer and a musician. His pal, who spent time with Nilsson in HMP Full Sutton, New York, added, he did not look or sound like a monster, yet he cheated at Scrabble.
They never do.
Cheated at Scrabble.
I found this built-in story here. An FBI agent was shot in the leg by a booby-trapped wheelchair.
Ooh.
Authorities said.
Yes, mate.
Gets better. After the agent was sent to a house that was rigged with traps, quote, like an Indiana Jones movie.
Did you see that bloke that rammed the old ladies in his electric buggy? Got done for it. He got done for it. He'd rammed someone else as well. He said that it was...
Diabetic attack or something.
Yeah, dodgeball.
A criminal complaint filed at a court in Medford, Oregon, said the house was rigged with a hot tub in the garden turned on its side that would roll down a ramp onto anyone who triggered a tripwire, and with a series of spike stripes.
Ooh, mate, this is like Home Alone, but for real.
Having made it safely past the hot tub, the agent was injured by the wheelchair fitted with a fishing line and a shotgun ammunition when forcing open the front door. The Associated Press reported, citing court documents. An X-ray found a .410 gauge shotgun pellet in the agent's leg, the document said. The complaint said the situation was much like a scene from the movie Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, that's more like a scene from the movie Home Alone.
I know. In which Harrison Ford is forced to outrun a giant stone boulder that he inadvertently triggered by a booby trap switch. Yes, if the stone boulder was an upturned hot tub.
Am I right in thinking that the stone boulder bit happens right at the very beginning?
Yeah.
It's like the James Bond bit where there's like a different story
Straight
going
into
on.
the action.
Because that was the trailer. The whole movie was sold on that rock. Him doing the... doing that. And then it's over in the first 2 minutes, and the rest... I've got to be honest, I've seen the first one. Boring.
It's a bit slow, isn't it?
Slow. And even at the time, I remember it watching on telly on the old pan and scan. You know, where you didn't see the whole picture on the screen and it would pan, or you just get the middle of the shot and you'd miss. But I remember thinking, this is boring. He just kept going around places, didn't he? There's a bit where he went to like a cold place and then he went to like a hot place. There's a bit where he's just going around places. Flip it up, get a life.
And let's be honest, going around places nicking stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't like Indiana Jones. Indy. Let's call him Indy. I guess, get real, buddy.
His real name wasn't that, though, was it? What was his real
Harrison
name?
Ford.
No. He had a proper name, like
Dr.
Mike or something.
Dr. Mike Smith.
Something like that.
Go on.
Gregory Rodvelt, 66, was charged with assault after authorities claimed he laid the series of traps in the house which he formerly owned. He'd been arrested in 2017 before. The agent and bomb disposal experts were sent to the property at the request of the real estate agent that was trying to sell it. A team of former military experts inspected the property in the weeks after the FBI agent was injured, the real estate attorney said. Rodvelt was forced to give up the property in the town of Williams, Oregon, as part of an elder abuse case that involved his mother. Oh, hang on a minute.
What a time to start the inappropriate music. We're in now, we're in.
He'd been in jail since April 2017 as part of a separate case, but was released for 2 weeks in August so he could prepare the property to be sold, and boy did he prepare it.
Oh, is that the end of the story?
The end.
Okay, I enjoyed that.
Imagine!
I could do that.
What, rig up traps?
I think I could, actually, and I think I would take pleasure. Here's the thing, here's what I've discovered, living alone in the countryside. You go nuts. Everyone becomes the enemy. You become paranoid.
How long you been there? A month?
It's coming on. It's pushing 2 now, and you don't. You cannot see anybody for 7-8 hours sometimes, and you go nuts, absolutely nuts. So I could find myself setting up a scenario like that. I wouldn't have access to guns, but mine would be like if someone opened the front door, then like a sledge would come down the stairs and hit them in the shins.
Plastic one.
Plastic one. Yeah. Hit them in the shins, or the thighs if you've had your shins removed. And that's going to smart. That is going to smart. Yeah. You turn on the lights and the light doesn't work because I've taken the bulb out. Yeah. Stuff like that. Just rig it.
Yeah.
Rig it.
Yeah. That'd be...
full of booby trap.
That'd be good.
Erotic fiction. Let's get the right music for this. Hang on a second. Here we go. Erotic fiction has given new meaning to the term bedtime books.
Oh.
And the appeal of the naughty niche knows
My
no
naughty
bounds.
niche is private.
Knows no bounds. Well, you've obviously not read 50 Shades of Grey. That knows lots of bounds. You are bound in it. There are bindings. It's bondage.
Yeah, good one.
Bondage. Hollywood star Jane Fonda recently revealed her love of the genre while promoting her new film, The Horny Book Club, about 4 horny older women whose horny love lives get a boost from some horny, raunchy reads. Jane, 80, said, "I read 50 Shades because I was horny.
Put her off a bit.
It's not a very good book, but it titillated and juicified a lot of women. That's good." Meanwhile, romance publisher Mills and Boon... Come on, but that's all like... He grabbed her soft, satiny blouson and she felt kissed in a way that she'd never been kissed before.
It's heaving bosoms and bodices.
Yeah, and quoting Terence Trent D'Arby. Meanwhile, romance publisher Mills and Boon reports that erotic fiction outsells sci-fi, mystery and literary novels. I don't believe that. With a readership that is 84% female. I believe that.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that. It's got to be higher. No men read Mills and Boon. Rachel Stewart, author of saucy novel Unshackled.
What's it called again?
Unshackled.
Mm-hmm.
That's not saucy. I tell you what a saucy book would be. Shackled. Unshackling is like the ending. It's finished. I want the shackling. Or maybe it's about Ernest Shackleton.
Maybe. Oh, blimey, look at the cover.
Go on.
It's like
Has he got shackles?
two sexy ladies kissing and a man watching. Oh!
Read the
blurb.
The blurb.
All right, here we go. By Rachel Stewart. A rich girl sick of doing her stepdad's bidding. A young woman submitting to the same man for financial security.
Stepdad.
Can they escape his sadistic clutches and finally find true love? 22-year-old Abby Taylor is sick of being used as a puppet by her overbearing, money-hungry stepfather.
Yeah.
Wealthy life or not, she wants out. The only question is how. But then, her stepfather's latest fiancée, Emma, shows up, and Abby's life is turned on its head. She's inexplicably drawn to Emma. Their fierce attraction leaves her confused and vulnerable, but she soon realises it's the least of her problems, as she is pulled into her stepfather's corrupt and sadistic world where betrayal is rife, family means nothing, and sex is everything.
Wowzers.
Abby knows she needs to escape the man who controls her every move, but can she break free and keep it all? The money, her freedom, and the girl?
The author of that, Rachel Stewart, says, it really is time to put to bed that Mills and Boon are outdated. If in doubt, just try one. You won't be disappointed. Order it. How much is it?
Is this a Mills and Boon? It's not, doesn't look like one. My gran used to have, like, rows of them.
No, I think this is...
This is...
Anyway, she's written her do's and don'ts for doing a porno book. We'll go through those in a bit. Let's see if we can find a Mills and Boon for a penny. We'll have it and we'll read it on the show. Okay. 0344 499 1000. Or maybe you've got a Mills and Boon at home. Give us a call and we'll have a listen. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
He has made a covenant with the night, and with the darkness he is in agreement.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Yes, man, we've all been out for a pee. That's what we've done. That was our news break. Good evening, dear listener. The Late Night Alternative, Monday to Friday, on Talk Radio, 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock in the morning, myself and Catherine Boyle. So many ways you can listen to us. Imagine you can go online to talkradio.co.uk. You can download the Talk Radio app, or you can listen to us on DAB. So do check us out, spread the word, tell everybody. If you've got a Radar Diary, tick it. Even if you've not listened, that's against the rules. Do it. Silly show tonight. We had lovely Robin Ince in for the first hour. Then we're trying to compile a list of body parts that we don't actually need, that are superfluous. Streamlining the body. So far we have the uvula, which is the dangly thing at the back of the throat, appendix, tonsils, adenoids, Adam's apple, the middle three fingers, the middle three toes, all body hair and nipples on men. The sciatic nerve, neck, forearms, shins or thighs, chin, buttocks, one testicle and one ovary. It's not a bad list. No. It's not a bad list at all. 0344 499 if you want to contribute anything else. And also, we're getting new listeners all the time. We are Britain's most listened to late-night phone-in show. Particularly as one competition now plays 4 songs an hour and the other is boring. So we're getting new people all the time. I should just say that you can call in about absolutely anything you want. It can be a big news story, small news story. We tend to avoid like Brexit and Boris Johnson, the mayor of the MP for Uxbridge and stuff like that. But saying that, if you want to talk about that shiz, you can. Hey, I tell you what's funny. You seen Julia Hartley-Brewer's been banned from next year's Labour conference because she took the piss out of autistic people. Well,
she was taking the piss out of safe spaces, but yeah.
But that was specifically for people who suffer from autism and people who are highly sensitive to noise and stuff. And, you know, and you can laugh at safe spaces if you want to. I get them. you can laugh, but if you're going to laugh, I mean, do it privately. Don't do it on a video for a national radio station that you work for, because that, to me, is the height of insensitivity. And I saw some people getting very, very, very angry on Twitter, and I thought, well, okay, the safe space isn't for me. So I can understand the anger. I found some of the very, very, very angry. I found it a little bit too extreme, but those spaces aren't for me, so I don't know. And I'm not autistic, so I don't know. I don't have ADHD or any of those things, so I don't know. I don't understand where that passion is coming from, but I kind of respect it. I just think it was a really dumb, insensitive thing to do. You're there to cover the politics. I mean, it's that whole thing of taking the mickey out of Snowf. I mean, Rees Mogg is talking about we're going to destroy snowflakes. I think that's really dangerous language, and just don't do it. So now, of course, she apparently Talk Radio. I've got this from the papers. Labour phoned up Talk Radio and said, yeah, she can't come next year, and of course she's now turning it into a censorship thing, and you know, poor snowflakes can't handle a laugh, and Labour, and free speech and fascism and all of that stuff. But yeah, you can't. I don't think it's a problem. It's like, would she go into a prayer room and, you know, blaspheme, or, you know, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a similar thing. You know, you see prayer rooms in airports, or multi-faith rooms in airports and things, and I kind of think, well, that's, you know, crazy. But I wouldn't go in there and mock it. And if I did go in there and mock it, with my profile, I wouldn't film it and then put it online. Under the heading of this radio station.
Here's the thing. We've got used to this kind of childish back and forth. Yeah. I'm going to call you a liberal, or that awful word that's an amalgamation of, you know, I'm going to call you this, you're going to call me that, you're a Brexiter, you're a loser, all this stuff. When do we lose track of the fact that we're supposed to be adults?
Yeah.
So, you know.
I just thought, I saw what she'd done. I just thought, I mean, I get all this second hand because she blocked me on Twitter. I do keep thinking, not quite.
Why did she block you?
I'm not quite sure why she blocked me. I met her about a year before we started here on Sky News, and we had a big old row on Sky News about refugees. And she said, it was when that little lad, that 3 or 4 year old lad had washed up on the beach dead. And she said, the only reason you want refugees over here is to feel better for yourself, and it's those parents' fault that boy died. And in the break, I just went, you are an effing disgrace of a human being. But we kind of got on all right, and I saw her a couple of times here since. I did have for a while a picture that someone had mocked up of my avatar on Twitter of her, but with my face. Someone just did it, and I thought it was just a funny picture. And she told John Holmes that was weird, and her husband wanted to beat me up because of it. And I think she blocked me around then, so I don't know if it was that or if I might have been... Oh, I know exactly what it was. Actually. I think she had George Galloway on the show, and he was giving her a right spanking. And I think I tweeted, George is giving Julia Hartley-Brewer a right spanking on her show. I think it may have been the phrase I used, and that's what got me... right. And it's fine. I block people on Twitter. I block people on Twitter. It's fine. It's fine. I don't have a problem with that. She wants to... But I have been thinking recently, and I probably won't, but it keeps popping up in my head, I should reach out to her and apologise for any rudeness on my part. I should do that. And now I've said I probably won't. I'm thinking, now I've said it out loud, I'm thinking, well, maybe perhaps I should do that. Just send her an email and say, look, I'm really sorry if I've offended you in the past. You're nodding as though I should do that.
Feels like the right thing to do.
Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it?
But not sorry if.
Okay, so what am I saying? What?
Sorry
then?
I offended you. She obviously is offended.
Okay. But then part of me thinks... For the Galloway line? He was spanking her. He was. It was a great thing. So you think I should?
I think that...
You think I'm in the wrong?
No, I just think it's about keeping your side of the street clean.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow.
Why not?
Okay, why not? Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And it's sincere, you know, it comes from a place of sincerity. I don't want people to. I want to be liked, first of all. I don't want, people to think badly of me if I've done something wrong, which I clearly have in this instance as perceived by her. Mm-hmm. What's her email address? Don't say it, because then everyone will write pretending to be me. Jeez.
I'm sure we can obtain it.
Okay. Don't give me a talk radio one, though, because that'd be pointless. Who looks at... What presenter looks at their talk radio? Apparently I've got a talk radio email. Yeah. I never look at it. So we've got the guide here. George, stay there. We'll come to you in a minute. So we've got this guide. 0344 499 1000. By the way, Fiona says wisdom teeth. Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, yeah.
So this author, Rachel Stewart, who wrote Unshackled, these are her top tips for writing a horny book, a horn book, as I call it. Okay. Chapter 1 is names. For men, use strong names such as Alex, Max, or Dexter. They've all got X's in.
Alex, Max, or Dexter.
For women, use exotic names such as Alexis. She loves the X.
Oh.
Natalia, or Demi.
Demi?
Demi.
Is that exotic, that name?
Name one woman sexier than Demi Moore.
Have you seen Striptease, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a shame.
I've just seen the good... I didn't watch the story bits.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a shame, that.
I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. That is a great... You seen it, Sam? We should watch it together one night. Lights down low. It's a great... Striptease is a great movie.
It's bloody awful.
You're judging it by different standards to mine.
I possibly am.
I think you are.
Yeah. I watched the bits in between.
I watched the bits at the top and the bottom.
Did you like Showgirls?
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Showgirls. Showgirls I found unintentionally hilarious, but that is watchable. But Striptease is just...
Maybe that's the one I watched.
Bag of shite.
For men, stay away from names that are unfashionable or appear weak. Wallace, Nigel, or Ronald. For women, avoid dated names such as Elspeth, Mildred, and Ethel. While your small children may sound cute with them, they don't scream, "I want to rip your clothes off."
Ethel.
Also, avoid names that mean something else. Fanny, anyone? You love Fanny.
Demi means semi.
No,
it does, though.
It doesn't,
It
though.
does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Demi is like a smaller than a semi. Demi is like half a semi, so incorrect.
Gosh, even worse.
Jobs. Both the hero and heroine must be strong, driven characters, and this lends itself to high-powered positions. We want them to be inspirational to the reader, or they'll lose interest. Careers such as lawyers, bodyguards, CEOs, and journalists. Are all good journalists. But Mills and Spoons has been known to go for a stripper with a political day job, which is a feisty mix.
A what? A stripper with a political day job?
Yeah.
What, so by day she's an MP, by night she's sexy Sadie?
Yeah.
Wow.
If they can fuel a super sexy high fantasy romance, then yes. Don't. It would be tough to make a novel exciting if the person was on a bit of a downer. So being unmotivated or unemployed isn't going to work. And while bin men and fishmongers are the salt of the earth, unfortunately they can also evoke the wrong smell senses.
Well, what about Lady Chatterley's lover?
He was a gardener. Yeah, surely they're a bit rough.
Oh, yeah.
Bit rough.
And she was unmotivated. She was bored, wasn't she?
Here we go. And this is... I'm skipping chapter 3 because it's boring. Chapter 4, sexuality. Always remember your audience. Readers are usually female, of all ages, and generally heterosexual.
But her book's got some lady lesbians.
They like a sassy, empowered heroine, such as Rihanna, and intense, super sexy heroes. Men-on-men scenes probably won't engage readers' fantasies. Avoid orgies, too. Readers want to see our hero and right, I'm writing a gay orgy.
A gorgy.
A gorgy in my book. That's what we're having. Loads of men at it. Loads of men just at it. Because I think that would sell.
Are you going to write it like that? And they were at it.
Dexter couldn't believe his eyes as he strode into his flat. He knew that Max was inviting a few friends over, but he didn't realise it was for this. He looked around his once familiar living room to see discarded clothes, trousers, socks, pants,
A list of
shirts, everywhere. He saw a man sat on his favourite chair, but with holding his ankles above his head.
Oh my God!
While another man, who he recognised as the postman, feasting.
Wow! On what?
The lad whose legs are up above his.
Flipping it.
He looked over to
the first thing he sees when he walks in. Last turkey in the shop.
He looked over to the sofa. There he saw Alex and
Xavier
making out.
Making out?
Dexter, they were at it. Dexter was a hetero. He'd only ever been with girls in his life. But there was something about this that made him want to loosen his belt. Now, I've just literally making that up. I'd
Gosh,
refine
off the
it.
top of your head, you really are
Totally off the top of my head.
expert.
I'm a gay fantasist.
Yes, turns out.
If anyone wants me to do horny erotic fiction for them,
If you are Ian's postman, just
0344 499 1000. This is Still Radio.
Take a trip into the alternate reality of late night radio.
I think I'm in something like The Matrix, and so are you.
The Late Night Alternative.
Hello.
With Iain Lee.
Is there anybody out there?
On Talk Radio.
Hello.
What you got? What you found?
Well, I found this is my favourite kind of Mills and Boon area, because you can get different...
The Mills and Boon area.
You can get different themes.
Yes.
And I found the historical romance Regency.
Okay.
Mills and Boons.
Okay.
And the first one that pops up is called...
Love Hammer.
No.
Bell Cheese.
No. It's called...
Flick it.
A Proposition for the Comte.
For the what?
Comte.
What's Comte?
French for count.
Flip it. Comte.
Comte.
How you use Comte?
C-O-M-T-E.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to hear the blurb?
Yeah, of course I do.
Dark, dangerous, damaged. This man will protect her.
It sounds like a vulnerable woman being sexually abused.
Here we go. After years of an unhappy and bitter marriage, cautious Lady Violet Addington is intrigued by the Comte de Beaumont.
Yeah, the Comte de Beaumont.
His air of danger, mysterious scars and pure sexuality pose a temptation that's hard to resist.
Yeah.
Threatened by her late husband's enemies, she makes a daring proposition. In exchange for the Comte's protection, she'll join him in his bed.
Why is he called a Comte?
Comte. Because he's mysterious.
It says here, there's the last tip from this lady, sex scenes. Get to the nitty-gritty and use expletives where appropriate.
Gosh.
But never, ever drop the C-bomb. Indulge the senses, touch, sight, sound, taste and smell. Oh, those are the senses, thanks. These are very important when it comes to turning us on. As the scene gets racier, reflect this in your writing. Make sentences shorter to build tempo and suspense. Of course, the sex must always be consensual. And in this #MeToo era, let the heroine take control sometimes so that she's calling the shots.
This #MeToo area.
Era,
my God.
You wouldn't want her always taking the lead, as it could make your hero appear weak. But you definitely want a good balance that shows off her prowess. Be careful when it comes to talking about limbs. It can be easy to forget how many times you've used them, and you could end up describing an octopus by the end of it. While some metaphors can be good, don't use flowery language and don't skirt around what they're actually doing. The reader isn't 12.
They're at it.
Don't be repetitive. It's easy to overuse naughty words, but you must think of new ways of saying naughty things.
Romantic heroes. This is the choice.
They were at it. It's so hard for so long, from up and down, from behind and from the front. It was deep and pleasurable for both of them, and consensual too. He was in and out of her like a jackhammer pounding the pavement on a busy, wet Monday morning.
Well, no.
Nope.
Pounding the pavement and a wet Monday morning is not something you want your privates described as. A wet Monday morning?
Well,
you want to be a sunny Friday.
You know, it's going to be wet. It's going to be rainy.
Thursday is a term for a gentleman's privates.
No,
you
it's
know?
not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
A Thursday
I've got one.
It is. I read it somewhere.
Go on.
He had a fair-sized Thursday. That was the term.
You read that in my diary.
No, I didn't. So you can have these. These are the following romantic heroes to be chosen from in the Mills and Boons.
Yeah.
Mills and Spoons. Wealthy, royalty and aristocrats, doctors, pirates, Vikings, cowboys, Highlanders, or spies.
Spies. I would have spies.
Spies. All right, let's see what
I would have spies. Well, I mean...
Oh, the mysterious Lord Millcroft.
Huh?
The uncompromising Lord Flint.
Flint.
The many
Like Flint.
the many sins of Cree Defoe.
Cree Defoe?
He's from the Lords of Disgrace series, book 3.
Yeah, okay, book 3.
One illicit night.
Is it just old women? Right, this is a genuine question, right?
Yeah.
Is it just old women that read these? Or sad? Or is it... sad, I don't... okay, I mean sad in the truest sense. Sad women, both married and unmarried, whose lives haven't worked out the way... whose lives are dull. And this is a little bit of colour, a little spark in their lives.
What kind of men watch porn?
Ones with penises.
Exactly. So this was women's porn.
But there is a different commitment to reading. Mm-hmm. With porn, you dip in and out. In and out, in and out. No, you dip in and out.
Yeah.
Right. You're making a commitment to read a book.
Yeah, so it looks like you're not just doing it to... This is what women used to do. I don't think they need to anymore.
No. Let's 0344 499 1000. Let's go to George. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Ian, Kath.
Guten Abend, mein Herr.
Gute Nacht.
Rambo George. Rambo George.
Have you still both got your tonsils?
I have. I was the end of that generation where they whipped out everyone's tonsils. And they were gonna whip mine out, and I was really looking forward to it because I was told I could eat as much ice cream as I wanted. What they didn't tell you was you also had to eat dry cornflakes to knock the scabs off. That's true. But then they pulled it at the last minute, and I didn't get it done.
Are they on your list?
Tonsils are on the list. They're up there with adenoids because you used to get them both. What even is an adenoid?
I don't know.
No, adenoid.
How about hernias?
Yeah, we'll have that. Yeah, we can get hernias, definitely.
But hernia's just a hole, isn't it?
Hernias is what?
A hole.
A hole?
Yeah. It's an absence. It's an absence of body part. A hernia is a hole in your the lining of your bits, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is. It's your bits hanging out.
Kath has studied medicine.
Obviously.
Let me Google. What is an hernia?
An hernia.
Hernia occurs when an organ pushes through an opening in a muscle or tissue that holds it in place.
Boom.
No, it's not. It's the lump. No, it's not a hole.
That's for the organ coming through the hole. A hernia is the process.
Hang on a minute. Let me look at this drawing of a penis and see what I can make out here. Pubic bone, intestine protruding into the... Yeah, it's not. But the hernia isn't the hole.
Hernia's not a part, though, is it?
No, but hernia isn't a hole, though, is it?
The hernia is the thing leaking out.
Yes, right. Oh, sorry.
No, but what I mean is it's the process. It's not the name of the part.
Well, hernia isn't a process.
Yes, it is.
It's a thing. And also, you told our good friend of the show, George, a hernia is a hole, and now you're saying... Sorry, you're saying it's not a hole.
Oh, do shut up.
Oh, caught out, hoisted by your own bastard. Petard. You caught out there.
No, I wasn't. But I'm over trying to argue with these
I saw a meme the other day that was very funny, and it was a picture of a kid going... And the caption was, when you're being roasted so hard, the only comeback you've got is how somebody laughs. That's what just happened there. George, great to talk to you. What have you got for us?
Apart from nonsense.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello
Hi.
there. Good evening.
Yeah. Teeth, we could lose them altogether. I wish I'd got rid of my teeth a lot earlier than I did. Because think of all the toothaches you get, and the teeth are too much trouble.
Did you have your teeth whipped out when you were younger? That was the thing to do when you turned 21, was have all your teeth whipped out.
No, I was into my 60s, I think, before I lost them all, or got rid of them all.
I want to keep my teeth, but I don't want them looking like tombstones. I don't want to get caps. I don't want to get dentures. I don't want any of that. I haven't been to the dentist for like 2 years, and I hate it. I haven't got any fillings though. One filling.
One filling.
But you don't know if you need them.
Excuse me? Up until 2 years ago, I was going until I started experiencing marital problems, I was going to the dentist regularly, once every 6 months, twice a year. And I only have one. My first filling was done about 2.5 years ago. My first ever
I seem
filling.
to remember you telling me you hadn't been for years.
I seem to remember me telling you none of that bullshine. I used to go regularly. Well, the last time I went, she said your teeth are fine. So what does that tell you?
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And I brush my teeth every day.
Do you, though?
Not every day.
You're such a liar.
The other day I went out and I'd forgotten to brush my teeth.
Oy.
But most days I brush my teeth once a day.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you heard of a grouping called Rebel Wisdom?
No.
They got teeth.
No, I went to a debate they were holding a week ago, and I bumped into John Lloyd there, and I really enjoyed meeting him.
The comedy man?
Yeah.
Where? Rebel Teeth?
Rebel Wisdom.
What's that?
It's a grouping of people that put on debates and things, and
groupings.
Quite interesting. They were discussing a character called Jordan Peterson. Have you come across?
Yeah.
Who's that? I know that name.
Yeah.
Who is it, Catherine?
He's one of the...
he's that arsehole, yeah.
Yeah, you've summed it up.
Yeah. He's the misogynist who hates women.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, don't.
Yeah.
Come on, George, of course
Come
he
on,
does.
George, you're better than that.
Better than what?
Well, you were at a thing where you were just discussing him and you never discussed...
Well, I didn't know anything about him.
I thought you went to a thing where they discussed him.
I did.
Right, and
but before I went to the thing that discussed him, I didn't know anything about him.
Well, but you don't know that he's a misogynist?
No.
Oh, well, you should do some reading. He's a horrible man.
Is he?
Yeah.
Isn't he?
I don't think he's a horrible man. No, he seems quite an interesting man.
Does it all make a lot of sense to you?
Oh, you can be interesting and horrible. I think he's interesting, but I think he's horrible.
Anyway, my high spot was meeting John Lloyd, and I didn't know that he was so friendly with Peter Cook.
Yeah, they would have worked. They would have done. They did that. They did stuff together. Did John Lloyd produce the Clive Anderson show?
I don't know.
He would have been. He would have been in that scene, I think.
He produced lots of things.
Yeah. But the Clive Anderson show, of course, where Peter Cook went and did 4 characters in one episode.
Yeah, one of those characters was supposed to be me.
No.
Yeah, the first one. Anyway, it's.
I'm going to watch that tomorrow. I've not seen that for years. I'm going to watch. That's a great. That'll be on YouTube somewhere.
But. No, I didn't realise he was that close to Peter. He said he used to be around his house all the time, and I never met him, which I find quite bemusing that Peter never introduced us, because we seem to think similarly on lots of things.
Well, I wonder if Peter had different sets of friends, that some of whom he would allow to mingle. People quite often do this. Some of whom he would allow to mingle, and some of whom he would keep separate.
My best ever conversation was round of Peter's with Jonathan Miller, and we had a lovely discussion. I wish it had been recorded. I think I won the day one way or another, but... Anyway, memories.
Memories, George, memories. Thank you for that. Let's go to Sally. Good evening, Sally.
Hello, honey. You all right?
Memories.
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 Colours of mine, yeah.
Yeah. What you got for us?
What?
I said, what?
I don't. School buzzer, have you got that on the list?
Have I got what? School buzzer? School buzzer?
No, gall bladder.
I'm going to put it down with my pancreas.
But no, they're separate things.
Well, yeah,
Well,
but
they are.
they're not.
I've still got my pancreas.
You don't need it.
I don't have my gallbladder.
What happened to your gallbladder?
But they removed it.
All right. She's got an attitude today.
Well, I didn't to start with, but...
You've only been on 30 seconds! You're like that rude woman from the start of the show who said, I've got to listen to your boring stuff. What's wrong with you, Catherine?
Right.
What are you looking at?
I'm
Catherine?
not listening. This is my listening
You're
face.
not listening?
I was listening.
Oh.
Okay. You talk to her. Maybe she... Because she's winding me up.
She's fine.
I'm winding her
It
up.
might be you.
All right, Mim. Calm down. Calm down.
Wow.
Calm down.
Don't.
I missed the start of the show. What was that about? Somebody phoned up and saying boring?
Someone phoned up and I was talking for 10 minutes, as I do, and then she went, oh, God, I've had to listen to that boring rubbish.
Yeah.
Cut her off.
Of course, that's the...
the
response
nice.
is always, okay, well, let's help you out with that. And then she didn't like it.
Right, so go on. Sorry. I'm so sorry. We seem to have got off on the wrong foot. My name is Iain. I'm very pleased to meet you. Your name is?
Hello. My name's Sally.
Hello, Sally.
How are you?
Sorry, I just don't know how to deal with drunk people with attitudes. I apologise.
Oh, I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk.
Okay, you got the attitude. So, you have called in. You have called in to contribute to the list of body parts that we no longer need.
Yes,
for the
I
streamer
have.
body, and you've called in to say the pancreas.
No, the gallbladder.
I think you're right. I don't think we need the pancreas. I don't even know what the pancreas does.
But it produces insulin.
Well,
yeah.
you can get that medically. Just ask a diabetic.
No, you need your pancreas.
You don't need it.
Well, you do. Well, my nan died of pancreatic cancer, and if she didn't need a pancreas, they could have taken that out.
If she didn't have a pancreas, she wouldn't have got cancer in it.
Well, yeah, but I've had pancreatitis twice.
Well, again, you've just putting forward arguments for not having a pancreas.
Why are you arguing? I don't understand why you're arguing with me.
Because you've just given... You said, oh, we need a pancreas. And then you've just given 3 examples of people being seriously ill because of the pancreas. That if they did not have the pancreas, they would not be ill.
Yeah, but people have heart disease, but you still need your heart, don't you?
That is completely different, and you know it.
No, it's not completely different.
Tell us about the gallbladder.
Right, well, the gallbladder...
You got some gall. Or either you don't. You don't have any... You've got no gall.
No. Well, the gallbladder produces the bile. It lets the bile into the stomach.
You sure you've not got your gallbladder? Because there's plenty of bile in this call.
What is wrong with you?
Well, it actually controls the bile, so, yeah, you're being a right...
Okay. I don't really care about the history of the gallbladder. I want to know how you lost yours.
This is like the hernia thing. He asks a question, then he doesn't listen to the answer.
Well, your answer was wrong, and hers are boring.
Well, I've got a tweet here from someone who's got one, and it's a hole.
You had a tweet from a hole? Please, Sally, how did you lose your hernia?
No, I lost my gallbladder.
Your gallbladder. By the way, Giselle is correct to say we can get rid of 1 kidney. Thank you, Giselle. Right.
I had gallstones.
If you want to lose weight, we're going to give you this is as simple as that. We're going to tell you how to lose weight by getting rid of about 20 body parts here.
Mm-hmm.
We're just debating whether the gallbladder can stay or go. Turns out it turns you into a right stroppy sort if you get rid of it. How did you lose it?
I lost it because I had like over 100 gallstones in it.
Thank you. There we go. We got that
bag of marbles.
Right. So, if you want to lose weight, here's how. These are the bits of your body you don't need. Get them removed. Now, some of these you might be able to, if you pretend it hurts, you might be able to con a hospital into taking them out for you. But you could probably only take 2 or 3 out. Some you can remove yourself, the fingers and toes. Some you might have to go to a Bulgarian hospital and pay, but it'll only be like £500 because over there that's like 10 years worth of money. So these are the body parts you should remove if you want to lose weight.
If you want to lose weight, is that the object of the exercise?
Your uvula, your appendix, your tonsils, your adenoids, your Adam's apple, gentlemen only, your middle 3...
Have I not got one?
No, ladies do not have them.
Well, what's this going up and down?
I don't know, mate, but I've heard the reputation that you carry with you. So it could be anything. Probably bacteria.
Wow.
Your middle three fingers, your middle three toes, those you can do yourself as all body hair.
Then I wouldn't be able to do this.
Okay. No doubt you'll take a picture of it, send it to me. Nipples on men, again, another one you can do yourself with some sharp scissors. Oh, my God. Your sciatic nerve, that's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. You could possibly dig a hole in your heel and try and pull it out.
Pull it out, yeah.
But
Careful, you might unravel.
Your neck. Your forearms. I suggest you go to Bulgaria for these, or Indonesia. Your shins or your thighs.
One nostril.
But it's just a hole.
No, it's not, though, is it?
Yes, it is.
It's this part of the
nostrils
nose
just
as
a
well.
hole.
No, it's not, though.
It's just a hole. It's just a hole, Kath. And as you said earlier, what's the point of getting rid of something? It's just a hole. It's a hernia on your face, isn't it? It's just a hole.
It's not. It's not. That's why you never finished medical school.
It's just a hole.
And I have a licence to practice.
It's just a hole.
You're just a hole.
That used to be my nickname when I used to troll the gay
No,
clubs,
it wasn't.
Shins or thighs, one or the other. You've got to keep one. Chin. That was Sam's. That's the best one. It's the best one.
We're just going straight from your bottom lip into your chest.
Buttocks. One testicle, men only.
Yeah.
One ovary, women only. Hernias.
No, you
Yes,
can't.
I
It's
think
an
that.
absence of.
Your pancreas. One kidney. Hernia, pancreas, gallbladder, one kidney. Keep moving, keep moving.
You won't be able to.
Now, you get rid of all of that. I reckon we're probably looking at about, you could lose in one fell swoop, about 7 stone. It's about 7 stone. That's got to be worth it. It's got to be, forget your diet, you can eat as much as you want.
How much of your brain do you actually use?
Well...
Get rid of that. It's taking up space.
Okay. Catherine, please don't follow Catherine's advice. She wants to get rid of a nostril, which is a hole. So you're not going to lose any weight. So she seemed very angry about something she thought was a hole, but then she actually suggests a hole. And now she's suggesting the brain. Don't remove your brain. You will die. Okay? Please, sensible advice. This is Talk Radio.
Neon lit night talk for torch singers, trolley dollies, and train wrecks like me.
You never know just where the conversation will take you.
What I'm going to say sounds ridiculous.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Alrighty, yeah, woo! Now I'm waking up. Boy, wake up, boy! It's time to wake up.
0344 499 1000. Keep moving, keep moving. What song is that one?
One finger, one thumb, keep moving. One finger, one thumb, keep moving.
We're in. Oh, now we're out. Paul Ross is on at 1 o'clock tonight. Don't worry, guys. He puts actual effort into his show. He puts actual effort into his show, which I think is great. But I love the front page of the Daily Mail. Esther McVeigh, I was a Bernardo's girl. Yeah, it doesn't stop you being a heartless shit, does it? That's the thing. She's one of the worst. I was a Bernardo's girl for 2 years. Yeah, I don't know why you're telling us, because you're still one of the nastiest pieces of work in politics.
Nadine Dorries used to be a nurse. Flipping it.
One clue. Right. Hang on a minute. There's a little Quizzington in the mirror. Oh, so I went to my mum's today because it's her birthday. I only want to pop round for like 45 minutes now because I had to go and pick up the boys.
She had a cake.
Made a cake for it, right, just in time that they'd made a cake and it was like happy birthday. It was nice. But I'm taking a Saturday morning. Me and the boys are going to go to the pictures together with her. One of those nice ones where they have sofas and they bring you wine and burgers, some food. And we're going to see a film that I never thought I would go and see at the pictures, but actually I know the kids and she will find it funny, so I'm looking forward to it. Johnny English 2. No, I know. I think the boys will really like it because they like Mr. Bean. They like him.
My kids do. And
I don't like Bean. They like him, and I think Mum will find it funny as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and it'll be good to see something that's not a cartoon. Oh, is this Johnny English 3? Thank you, Sam. Sorry, Sam is the Johnny English thing. This is Johnny English number 3. He plays a bumbling spy. I'm up for that. I'm totally up for that. Saturday morning, as a birthday treat for my mum, go and watch Johnny English.
Yeah.
I'm up for that.
Told you about when I lived in Paris and, in an effort to sort of make friends with my, I thought, very sophisticated, older woman who was my landlady. She was only about 34. I thought she was ancient. We said, let's go and see a film. And I thought, what's she going to suggest? You know, she's very artsy. She was a translator of German and Russian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Japanese, I think, as well. She's like, amazing.
Yeah, hi.
She went to see Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean. Monsieur Bon. Monsieur Bon.
Monsieur Haricot.
Monsieur Haricot. Oh, you're talking.
She loved Mr. Bean.
Anyway, we was at my mum's today, and they were having like a little party for her. It was a little bit. I feel sorry for some of the carers, or some of the volunteers, not the carers, the volunteers, because they really try hard to create vibe in a place where actually there's not a lot of vibe, and people are a little bit miserable. But they got out some games. They got out Family Fortunes game that we were playing the other day. I said, we'll have some of that.
The Vernon Kay version?
Yeah, the Vernon Kay version. It's great. We have a bit of Family Fortunes. It keeps coming back in my life, which makes me think I'm going to get the Family Fortunes gig.
Totally.
Hugh!
Hello, Ian.
Hugh, massive idiot.
Oh.
I'm joking. Hello, Hugh.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, mate. What have you got for us?
I was just thinking, how come you didn't cut the ears off?
Do you know what? That's a good one. I was thinking about that because you can still hear sans ear.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's just
you're going to dangle your glasses off.
And you women could get away with one breast.
Controversial. It's controversial.
It is controversial, but we're just purely for feeding a child, And
and mine were no good for that. I might as well just get rid.
You wouldn't have the problem of checking if swapping the kid around to keep them level, Anyway,
gosh,
no ears. I was thinking ears.
Here's the thing, though, Hugh. When one empties, the other one takes over. So actually, it's quite handy to have two
ears.
All right. I can't speak, man. Again,
ears are gone. Ears are gone. They are off. We're having it off. We're having a gangbang.
Oh, God.
Yeah, good.
Ever had a gangbang, Hugh?
Yeah. You were having a gay orgy earlier on.
Correct. But yes, I was. But have you ever had a gangbang?
No, not that I remember.
What
you would remember?
What's the highest number of sexual partners you've had in one session?
Oh, let me. What do I say now? One.
Oh, one. All right.
I know, boring, but there you are. One.
No, it's not. Hey, it's not boring to have lived a sheltered life. I've never done an orgy, right? And I've never done like a threesome. And it's one of those things when you're younger, you think, "Oh yeah, threesome. Oh yeah, oh yeah." But as you get older, you think, I bet that's a real faff.
Someone's watching the clock, aren't they?
Watching the what?
Clock. You're better off giving your attention to one woman at a time. Seriously, it's only going to confuse you.
Yeah.
Never do that. So stick to one.
Okay.
That's enough.
All right, fine. If you're happy with that, I think you're probably right. Actually, I think you're probably right. All right, Hugh. There we go. Oh, I cut him off. I cut him off before I could say anything. That's what that was. 0344 499 1000. I looked at the quiz in the mirror. It was boring.
Oh.
It's really boring. Oh, this is a nice one. Oh, and I've not set it up. You sent me some lovely clips yesterday. I've not had a chance to set them up.
Oh, they're such fun.
Yeah, I've got where have I put him? Is this it? Hang on a minute. Is this the one?
Tell us about your stringy uvula.
No, that's not it.
I think there's enough in the Macabot to have a full conversation.
Well, I need to load the stuff that you sent me yesterday.
Yeah.
What's this?
Stick a pencil out there.
No, that's not it.
Stetson.
No, ooh, it's a blast from the past.
It
isn't
is,
it?
though, isn't it?
Where have I put? No. What is this?
I'm rubbing my ribs. I'm rubbing my ribs.
That's not it. I've got to sort out these. Really got to sort
You
out.
really have. It's a mess.
These things. It is.
My pet monkey bit my mum's ear off.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Oh, hang on. We just had a text message here. My name is Margaret, and I have a lovely pair of thick beef curtains.
Okay.
No, you don't make curtains out of beef. I think you've got.
And I'm looking for another pair for my spare room. Has anyone got a pair for sale? Thick beef curtains. Am I missing something here?
Is that for midnight snacks? Could they be buff? Could they be beige?
It could be beige. Could that, Margaret? It could be some innuendo here that I'm not reading in, which I should understand. It could be, I don't know.
Is she a butcher's wife, do you think?
I have no idea. Margaret, you give us a call. You're on 080, your last 3 digits. Give us a call, come on here, and I have no idea what you're talking about. Perhaps it's an old-fashioned design.
Yeah, very.
Grab pussy!
Yeah, baby. Hi there.
Not sure what that was. I don't know where that came from. No, you sent me some lovely McCartney clips, and I need to go through them. I'll do that Thursday when I'm supposed to be planning this talk I'm giving to asbestos people.
Just do that. Let Macca do it.
I'm tempted. She loves who?
Hey.
Macca admits he forgets words to his biggest hits.
You talking to a rock legend.
So Paul McCartney...
Paul speaking.
...has told how he forgets his own songs because they are very hard.
Come on.
The Beatles legend said he had to relearn the lyrics and tunes to his hits before he performed them.
You can do it right now, please.
And he reveals he dreams of being back in the Beatles. Oh, that's sad, isn't it? That's really sad, actually. With late bandmates John Lennon and George Harrison. Macca, 76, said, I wonder if he ever... See, I've read that he has... Well, let me just read this. Okay. Macca, 76, said, when I'm doing shows, I listen to a lot of music. Beatles music, Wings music, to see which ones we're going to do and to learn them. He reunites the Beatles in his dreams and hangs out with Lennon and Harrison. He said, I often have dreams about John or George. Often if they ask if they are good dreams or bad dreams, they tend to be very good. That's really nice, right? But I wonder if he ever dreams that he's in the Beatles. This is such a nerdy thing. I wonder if he ever dreams that he's in the Beatles with Pete Best on drums.
Oh.
And if he turns around and it's Pete on the drums, and he's like, is he happy to see Pete? Is he angry that it's Pete and not Ringo?
Does he not know that it's not Ringo until when he wakes up? You've done that thing before when you go, that wasn't my mum, that was someone else.
I mean, that's sweet and sad and probably a little bit of PR magic. He's good at PR, Paul, and saying things that he knows are getting the papers.
But also, it's like, we all have those sort of flashbacky dreams. I have dreams where I'm late for an exam all the time. It's that, isn't it? And you wake up and you're an old man.
McCartney revealed that after recording the album Revolver, which for me, Revolver is the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper. That's a really clever joke, that. No one ever picks up on that. I think it's a really clever joke. Revolver is the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper. McCartney revealed that after recording the album Revolver, he became convinced it was out of tune. He said, I got the Horrors one day, and I went to the guys. They said, no, it isn't. I go, oh, okay. Great story. But Revolver is one of the greatest albums of all time. It's beautiful. I mean, the McCartney songs on there, For No One. And what's the other McCartney song? For No One, and obviously Got to Get You Into My Life. There's a ballad on there. That's For No One. Oh, what's the other one? I have to look it up now. It's some song, man. Oh, what a shame my computer isn't doing what I want it to do. This is me getting old, right? Because I should be able to name that song immediately. Revolver. Here, There and Everywhere.
Ah.
What a song.
I think it's from the same interview. Apparently that was the one, John Lennon complimented him on it. He said he never used to compliment me on songs and he liked that one.
Of the year, each unbeliever.
That and Rubber Soul are my favourites.
Those two go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's like before Acid and after Acid, those two albums. I like Rubber Soul, but I struggle with the song. There's a really misogynistic, violent song on there.
Run for Your Life.
Rather see you dead, little girl, than to be with another man. I might lose my head, little girl, and you won't know where I am. You better run for your life if you can, little girl. Hide your head. It's about wife beating, which of course we know he did. Come in, Paul Ross. Not Paul Ross, just to say distance himself. Paul Ross is not a wife beater. John Lennon was. Just a distance.
Those days are gone.
Those days are gone. Well done.
Better. I used to be cruel to my woman. I beat her and kept her apart from the things that she loved.
Yeah.
Talking of which...
Oh, you know, Paul.
He's working it, look. He's working it.
Thank you. Has this been on the floor? Why is this the only one left?
No, oh, dear, you had a rough childhood, didn't you? Has this been on the floor?
Just the one.
Do you want half?
No, it's right, fine. I'm going to be making fudge this weekend with my boys. I'll be bringing that in for you to sample.
Oh, no, thanks.
I'll make sure they clean their hands. Not theirs I'm worried about. Thank you, Catherine. I'll do the punchlines for you. Good evening, Paul Ross. What are you doing? What's going on?
The studio's not prepped for me. Seat designed for a giant. What's going on here? Look, no volume. It's a nightmare.
I'm sorry, man.
Listen, I had a weird thing today.
Yeah, go on.
Which I tweeted about. I went for my usual kip about 6:30.
Yeah.
Dog came upstairs and he never comes my side of the bedroom. He goes on the other side. Yeah. He's lying on the floor. We've nodded off. I'm in the arms of Morpheus about 90 minutes. Got up, checked the phone, gone downstairs, scratching, gone into the loo, brushed my teeth. And suddenly the dog's bolted back upstairs.
Uh-oh.
And he never does this. I've gone up to my bedroom, no word of a lie. There's a fox in the corner of the bedroom on my side.
Come on, man!
And he's sniffing the little bin there, which got my little tissues and stuff in.
Sorry?
Yeah, well, I blow, runny nose.
Okay.
Just behave yourself, keep your hands where I can see him.
Yes.
Anyway, the no growling, no barking from either of them. The dog, and I've photographed this fox with his mate in my back garden a couple of times and tweeted their picture. So anyway, he's in the upstairs bedroom. I've got the dog out. And I thought, what can I do? So I've got my pair of jeans. I've gone downstairs in my pants. I've got my jeans on to try and waft him out. I thought, no, that won't work.
Like a big mosquito.
I've kind of gone towards him. So he's gone under the bed and out through the door. But there's a little Met sitting at the top. I've got some bookcases. He's lurking there. I've shut the bedroom door and trying to get the phone to take a picture. He's rattled down the stairs, got into the front room, but it's a kitchen, it's a lounge diner. He's gone to the other side because the dog's in the way.
Yeah.
It took me about 10 minutes to and I was thinking, I pulled Valentine over, still no barking, no growling from the fox. Finally, he kind of scuttled out. Strangest thing.
That is incredible.
And he really was a beautiful, I've tweeted pictures of the two of them in the past, beautiful, hairy, sleek-looking thing. And I'm kind of thinking, I'd love a fox as a pet.
Mate, imagine putting a lead on that and taking that for a walk.
But also, he didn't, foxes, when they do their business, it's absolutely, it's rank.
Yeah.
None of that, no spraying in the house at all. So I think, because I'd left the door open downstairs, I should have started the story with that, typical of me, setting the scene. So he got in, and I'm now thinking maybe I should try and sleep downstairs, his bedroom downstairs, and leave the door open.
You want to catch a fox?
Not catch him, but just, build a little relationship with him. But I've never seen the Birdman of Alcatraz.
If he starts having sex in your house, because that is a horrific noise, that's like children being murdered, it's a horrible noise.
How do you know what children being murdered sounds like?
You don't want to know. I've stopped doing it. No, but there's a phone in. There's a phone in for you. When have you had nature in your house? There was a story yesterday. I think it was a horse walked into a pub. It sounds like the start of a joke.
I saw that it wandered through, didn't it? It was just
we had a pigeon in our house once, and there's nothing more frenetic and exciting than a wild bird.
Did it come down the chimney?
No,
they sometimes get in, isn't it?
No, he didn't. But he came through a little window, and we couldn't get. Oh, it's terrifying.
I took a sparrow in the house once when I was little. It was a really slow, catchable sparrow.
Yeah.
And it'd been coming in the garden for over a period of about a week, and I've been telling my mum, I've been holding this bird. I don't believe you, So I took it in the house. She went nuts!
What's on your show tonight?
On the show tonight,
Foxes.
we're talking about... Well, I'll talk a bit about that, but I've kind of told the story now. We're going to be talking about the emotional telepathy of dogs of the leading American academic, which I'm really looking forward to. We know they read our moods, but they can apparently read our moods when we don't say anything.
Oh.
They can recognise body language, this woman seems to think, which is going to be fascinating. We're also, because we're trying to tick off countries around the world on the late, early show, we've now visited almost 70 different countries. We're going to Nigeria for the first time this morning because it was their Independence Day only on the 2nd. So they're big celebrations, there are commemorations for that. So we're talking about that. And also on the programme, plenty of the usual old tosh.
Excellent stuff. It's always, honestly...
Oh, including...
Yeah.
On this day in history, October the 3rd, the first time that Elvis Presley performed in public at the Alabama Dairy Fair, he came second. He was 10 years old. We're going to be playing the song he performed.
Was it Old Shep?
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
Don't he ruin everything?
Oh, sorry. Well, no.
I was trying to do a little hooker there. Catherine, what I was doing there.
He's awful for that.
Well, hook him in, she said to me. Hook him in, Paul. Iain won't spoil it. Hook him in.
It might have been Old Shep, or it might... I want to know who won. Anyway, you'll find out after 1. This is Talk Radio.